good morning. It is a Tuesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I am physically present, Glenn Clark. Believe it or not. Yeah, that's me. Hi. I'm here. Tested negative last night. I was really feeling better yesterday, and I was like, let me just see. I tested negative, and so all's good. I still have the nasal stuff happening, but that's going to be going on until spring.
Probably through spring, but yeah.
Yeah, it might be. Might be. But, hey, I don't have COVID anymore, so I got that going for me.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Beat that rap. You can't stick anything on me.
I was worried about you, so.
Yeah, I didn't die. I got that going.
Well done.
That was good. That was good. And then, it's funny because nobody knows, right? I'm certainly not mad, but like once I beat COVID, I was like, well, it's time to go back out, be part of the real world again. So we called our friends that we normally get together with for New Year's and said, hey, good news. I tested negative. The boy tested negative.
1-9's got nothing on us, yeah.
We're good, man. And they were like, maybe not this year. And I said, what? Did you not hear what I said? I said, we're good. And they were like, but we're just a little bit worried. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So we're going to have a nice dinner tonight.
Good. Play some games.
That's going to be that. That's going to be our big New Year's celebration. My wife still hasn't been able to take down the Christmas decorations because we haven't gotten together with my family yet for Christmas. Not doing that until Thursday night.
Well, yeah, the holidays don't end until Thursday
provided
anyway.
No one else tests positive between now and Thursday. I might be able to keep them decorations up until MLK Day at this point. Might be really stretching it. It's driving her nuts.
Keep the good vibes going, right?
Yeah, I haven't been a lot of good vibes in our house. Haven't been many of those. God. All right. Hi, Glenn Clark Radio, Tuesday edition of the program. I am here. Coming up on the program today, we are going to talk Ravens, talk MVP debate. Our buddy Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk, will check in with us this hour. Later on in the program, Chris Broussard, unofficial mayor of Ravens fandom, Fox Sports 1. He's going to join us a little bit later on today as well. It's been a little while since we caught up with Patrick Stevens, so we'll reflect with him on where Maryland finds themselves as they get into Big Ten play this week in the Pacific Northwest. And also kind of get caught up. I saw on Blue Sky today he was going over some of the area teams and just giving the thumbnail on those teams as they head into conference play. So we'll do that with Patrick Stevens. We'll make college football playoff picks and certainly not recap anything about fantasy football with our buddy Ken Zalis. That will be coming up as well. We got to kick him out, dog.
I agree. I do agree.
He's out. He rigged the league at the last minute, clearly to benefit himself, only to win it. He's just got to go. Like, this is the way it's going to have to go. I went 0-2 in fantasy football championships.
I went 1-1.
Oh, look at you. Yeah. Thanks a lot for that. The one thing that couldn't happen last night, the Lions played their guys. They couldn't just keep giving the ball to Jamison Williams. Son of a bitch. Such is life. That second place money, that hit hard, though.
Yeah.
Didn't appreciate that showing up in the Brian Ripken, by the way. What a quick payer that guy is. I looked down. I hadn't even recovered from the stinging of the defeat before I looked down and had some money in my belt. I was like, all right. All right. Maybe it doesn't suck as much as I thought it
Maybe
did.
KZ can take some pointers from that that kind of commissioner, you know?
Oh, you mean like collecting money?
Yeah.
What a thought. Yeah. All right, so that's all coming up on the program today. Yeah, I don't know why the Lions decided to play all it was such a weird football game last night because it was somehow like they were both super into it, but you could tell fully not into it at the same time. I don't know what to make of the fact that like their defense stunk against a 49ers team that had been bad and had nothing to play for. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I think the Vikings are the Vikings favorites.
Let's go see. Let's go see what the good old.
I mean, it's in Detroit, right? So you would think that. Is it? No, now you're making me. I thought it was for some reason. Why did
it is in? Sorry. It is in Detroit, and the Vikings are not favorites. It is Lions -2.5.
See, like it just. I don't know. All year we thought the Lions were the better team, but with McNeil and.
It is their largest over/under in about I think I saw it was like 5 years maybe or something.
Whose?
The Sunday night game. It's 57.5.
What?
Yeah.
You know the Vikings are good at defense, right?
Yeah, the Lions are good at offense. Do you see that? You know that.
I mean that's true, but the Vikings are good at defense. That's weird. I don't know what to make of that. Yeah, just a weird football game. I mean, obviously for those of you that thank God the Lions really did play their guys, but like. Bringing out the hook and ladder in that game? Like, if you're a Lions fan, aren't you sort of thinking to yourself, hey, maybe in a game that matters?
Ben Johnson's coaching for his next job.
Maybe when we need it? Not now? Like, it was cool. Like, oh, my God, why don't we run more hook and ladders in football? Jesus Christ.
Well, this is the start. It's picking up because of
I would like to
Kelsey and
well, that
now the
I don't think it was a hook and ladder, was it? That was just him pitching the ball. There's a difference between a hook and ladder and just pitching the ball.
But they've ran like a hook and ladder before, like the Chiefs have.
Have they?
Yeah.
Why do I not remember that?
I don't know. Like it's been like they, I feel like Kelsey. I don't know. I can't think of the. I feel like they've done it multiple times. Maybe it is. I'm confusing it with the stupid throwback across the field.
Yeah, that was just a pitch. That was just.
I swear to God,
there's a big difference between like what the Bills did this year, where Josh Allen was just standing there and they were like, "Oh hell, you're here." And running an actual hook and ladder. The hook and ladder, I convinced myself a hook and ladder would work every time. I get it. Some of that is because I've just played a lot of football in my backyard over the years. And so it's always fun there. But I convinced myself that it is once the ball is caught, no one is any longer thinking about anyone else on the field. It should always work. It should always be there for you. You should be calling more hook and ladders. But maybe in games that matter.
Yeah, back when LaShawn McCoy was still on the Chiefs.
Well, Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm thinking back to the first hook and ladder that I can remember.
Wasn't as cool as the
Kelsey to Shady.
Wasn't as cool as the hook and ladder in the Fiesta Bowl in the game that you don't know anything about. One of the greatest football games.
I wasn't born
played.
yet.
Were you not born yet? That's not true.
What year was it? It was like 2006. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was the 06 season.
Okay, so I was alive. Yeah.
So it was probably New Year's Day 07, if I'm remembering correctly.
Jeez, that play was not this hook and ladder.
Which one?
The Kelsey to LaShawn McCoy. That one didn't look like it was scripted either.
What year would that have been?
This had to have been. What year was LaShawn McCoy on?
Yeah, I don't remember now. That's the crazy part. Like I don't.
The Lions were 2-0-1, so maybe this was.
No,
I know.
No. What year was he?
I did feel like he wasn't. It had to have been years ago. 2019. Okay.
All right.
So that was one.
It's still more recent than I would have expected that to be.
Okay. Stafford was still at the Lions. All right.
All right. Yeah. Well, that probably does give something away. Probably does give it away. Anyway, yeah. The Lions win. Doesn't change anything. You're getting the same game no matter what. I don't know how I would feel if I was a Lions fan watching it. And like,
it seemed like they didn't get.
Is Jake Bates okay?
Oh yeah.
I mean, other than I get that he's got like a sexual relationship with the turf, and like that's, hey man, it's the '90s. I'm not here to judge anybody.
It is.
Yeah. It's a Michael Che thing. Whenever SNL, whenever they react, it's his bit now. Whenever there's like a weird response to a joke, he'll be like, "Oh, grow up! It's the '90s," and it's a really good bit. That's a very good bit. I give him a lot of credit for that. But yeah, other than that weird stuff, like he was hurt. Then he made a kick, and everybody's like, all right. And then he missed an extra point.
He missed 2, didn't he?
Well, what's his face? Moody missed 2.
And then he had blocked. Bates had one blocked.
I thought he just missed one at the end. I thought the last
I wasn't paying close attention to the game.
Yeah.
Because I just needed Jahmyr Gibbs not to score like 35.
I don't know how I would feel if I were a Lions fan. If I were, I say I don't know how I'd feel. I know ahead of the game, I would have 1,000% said, what the F are you doing? You don't play anybody. It's the thing we were talking about yesterday with the Steelers and Bengals, where unless you're presenting me something tangible. And in a lot of cases, I would say it's not. I think I saw where, like, Dan Quinn is arguing that he's going to play his guys because they could still get the 6 and not the 7, I believe.
They could get the
So I'm just trying to flush this out. That means that they would face the Rams instead of the – wait, no.
Hold on, I'm pulling
if
up
you're the 6 and not the 7, then you would face the – yeah, you would face the Rams instead of facing the am I doing this right?
Hold on. I'm pulling up the thing. Okay, yeah. So Green Bay and Washington are the only two that can be the 6 or 7 seed.
Right.
And so if Washington gets the 6 seed, do they need Dallas or Green Bay to lose? It looks like.
Well, right now they're the 6 seed.
Yeah.
Washington. So presumably, if they win, then they would get the Rams. Whereas if they lose and drop to the 7 seed, they would face the Eagles. So could you make an argument that the disparity between the Rams and the Eagles is enough for you to say, hey, we need to potentially risk guys getting hurt in this game? Remembering, and this is always the difficult part about when you make these decisions, there is a limit. And this always factors into it. If you were carrying a 100-guy roster and you could just play nothing but backups,
right,
that's one thing. You're going to have to play some of your guys in this game. You only have 47 players, whatever it is, available to you on game day. You can't, you can deactivate a bunch, but you can't play nothing but backups. So it's certain positions that you're choosing to prioritize over others. There's kind of no way around this. You can't make this the final preseason game. Some guys are going to have to play, or at least are going to have to dress and be available to you. If the Ravens were able to play a meaningless game this weekend, then they would say, hey, Rasheen Ali, if he's fully healthy,
right,
is going to be the back. He's going to be the back. But Keaton Mitchell's going to be active too. And Keaton Mitchell's going to have to be available because we can't give every snap to Rasheen Ali. Keaton Mitchell's going to have to play some of them. Rasheen Ali will get the majority of them, but Keaton Mitchell's going to have to get some of them. You know, Charlie Kohler would probably be your top tight end, but Isaiah Likely's going to have to play. There would be guys that you would be available to say, hey, these 8 to 10 guys aren't going to play. They will not see the field whatsoever. We saw this in the game against the Steelers in Week 18 last year. But other guys are going to have to. There's just no way around that. Some guys are going to have to play in this game. And if I were the Lions, that's the way that I'd be approaching it. I would say, I get where it's difficult. There is some tangible benefit for the Commanders to say, we're going to play some of our guys. Maybe the benefit is, I'm trying to think about how real it is, the difference between playing the Rams and the Eagles.
I mean,
if
yeah,
the Eagles have a
Rams,
healthy Jalen Hurts, then they're definitely a better team. If the Eagles don't have a healthy Jalen Hurts, they're definitely a worse team. One of them is also a cross-country trip.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you'd rather play the Rams than the Eagles. To what extent, I guess, is the question, right? To what – if you fall behind in the second half for some reason, do you just say, hey, nothing more to be gained here. Let's pull our guys and get ready for the playoffs? I don't know. It's a good thing to not have to worry about, right? It's a good thing. I say that. I hope that the Ravens don't have anybody get hurt against the Browns on Saturday. I keep forgetting that the Ravens still have a football game to play, and it still matters, and they still have to go do it and get the job done, and all of those things. Have the Browns announced their quarterback yet?
Not that I saw. Let's see.
Bailey's happy.
Hopefully they. I guess at the earliest we wouldn't know until today.
Yeah. I got nothing else to add. I have no other. Just it just petered out after all of that. I don't know. If I were a Lions fan,
Kevin Stefanski's Sophie's Choice. That's what this headline says.
Something along those lines. John Harbaugh did say yesterday that Justice Hill is going to play, that he's cleared and he's going to play on Saturday. So he will be back. We did see the Charlie Kohler returned, they opened up his window for returning yesterday. Arthur Millette, eligible to have his window open back up, but was not announced for a return. I don't have anything for you guys there. Sorry. I got nothing. I got nothing for you. Wish I could. And there was somebody else that was back. Oh, Nelson Aguilar was back on the practice field yesterday as well. So those are good things, obviously. Those are good things. The Baltimore Ravens, good to get guys back. Hopefully they can stay healthy through that as they get ready for a playoff game the following weekend, hopefully here in Baltimore. Could you imagine if it goes poorly? I have seen way too many people doing the bit of, I don't care about the division. I'd rather play the Texans in round one. I don't know how else to say this. Get the entire F out with that. Just stop. And I get it. There is a difference between saying, hey, I'm not telling them they should try to lose the game. I've been through this before, right? Where any year your quarterback gets hurt, I don't care anymore. Lose all of your games, improve your draft. Once your quarterback gets hurt, the season's over. I'm telling you, I'm not like rooting for you to lose, but it's definitely the better scenario for you to lose. And I remember the year they beat the Steelers with Ryan Mallett as their quarterback in the mustard pants.
So
Ravens fans were like super
15,
pissed
right?
off that I was saying I hope they lose the game, because the reality was Ryan Mallett's not a Raven. It does nothing for me that Ryan Mallett beat the Steelers. Great.
We still talk about it to this day. What are you talking about?
It's a great point. It's a magical day.
Legendary win.
History. Does nothing for me. And I feel that way. I'm like, there's just this is not a thing. I don't feel anything about it whatsoever. I'm kind of openly rooting to lose. I don't know that people are actually suggesting that the Ravens should try to lose on Saturday, but they would prefer that outcome because I just rather face the Texans. Stop it.
Well, and if that happens, then the Steelers are just going to lose anyway,
right?
To the Bengals.
Yeah, would you get out of it? But just stop. Like this thing where you're the winning the division is a goal. It's like something that you set to do at the beginning of the season. It is an accomplishment. It is something to celebrate. I get it. We're jaded. There have been a lot of division titles, and we're douchebags now. Like we just don't care about those things. We're above that. And I get where you look at the Texans, and the Texans look like they're a disaster at this moment. And we saw what happened the last time the Ravens went down to Houston. But it's still extraordinarily difficult to go on the road and have that many flights. You'd be talking about a scenario where now you'd need to make 3 flights in 3 weeks. And I get that it's going to have to be 2, almost certainly, no matter what. But limit it to 2, if possible. Football's a damn physical game and very painful, and these guys go through a lot. Remember the story of like Joe Flacco not being able to sit on a cross-country flight to Oakland? That's what football is.
I do not remember that story.
It's a real story.
And then he dropped 55 on the Raiders, though, right?
Something like that, yeah. He couldn't sit.
Maybe we shouldn't let him sit at
Yeah, right. He couldn't sit on a flight across the country. No. It'd be one thing if there was something to be scared of. I get somebody who would say, well, what if the Steelers turn around and lose, and now it's the Steelers coming to Baltimore? And yes, of the 3 teams, that's probably the team I would least like to play of the 3. But you deal with it. Do you think this team can win the Super Bowl or not? I mean, my God. Like, if you think their ability to win the Super Bowl comes down to whether or not they face the Texans or the Steelers in Week 1, then I got nothing for you. It's a very weird bit that a handful of people are doing on the internet. We're just in that we'll say anything kind of portion of programming, because there's we're all fought out about MVP. We don't think this game is any risk coming up on Saturday. There's nothing to say. So this is what we resorted ourselves to. This is what we got. Christ. All right. Today's show is brought to you by County Sports Zone. Governor's Challenge wrapped up. If you missed any of it, any of the results, scores, you want to find them, go to countysports.zone. It's proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Yes, the MVP debate rages on as we go into Week 18 of the NFL season. This man, I know, was very confused by the idea that it had been wrapped up by Josh Allen a couple of weeks ago, which made no sense to anyone. I don't know where we are with this. He, of course, is the man behind Pro Football Talk, NBC Sports, and the author of many books, and I believe many more to come. He is our friend Mike Florio, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Mike, Happy New Year, bud. Thank you for taking the time.
Hey, man, how are you? I appreciate it. Good to be with you. Yeah, I think I'm up to 10 now, and I keep getting ideas. What I'm trying to do, one of my New Year's resolutions for 2025 is, in lieu of just capturing any idea that pops into my head and turning it into a book, I'm going to be a little more strategic and try to come up with better ideas. Because I can that's the one thing, it's almost like it's this weird, and I don't know that it's a power, maybe it's a curse, but if I just have one little starting point and I start pulling it, the next thing I know, I got a 400-page manuscript. It might be crap, but it's 400 pages.
Did I see that you were giving one of them away last week? Did I see that?
Yeah, I gave away Father of Mine, the mob story set in the 70s in the town where I grew up because my dad was connected to the crew there. I gave it away on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Okay.
The ebook. Okay. So, yeah, and we moved a couple thousand of them, which is good. Now we'll see if people read them or not. But it's hard to get people to read books. We don't have the patience anymore. And I used to hate reading books when I was a kid. I love it now. It's great to have an escape from reality, something you look forward to reading a little bit of here and there. And I just enjoy writing it, and I enjoy it when people read it and I hear from them. I get so much mixed feedback from what I write about the NFL, where half the people like it and half the people hate it. It's predominantly positive, like almost unanimously positive when I get feedback from people who have read my book. So it's a nice break from half the people liking me and half the people hating me.
Well, on a good day, it's got to be half, right?
But you know what? It's funny. It was funny when I used to practice law, and that's why I can deal with it.
Yeah,
because when I practice law, when you litigate, by definition, half the people you deal with like you and half the people you deal with hate you. And your job is to keep the people who are supposed to like you from hating you.
That is a good point. All right. Well, I'm sure you've dealt with none of that as you waved into the MVP conversation. I'm sure everybody's been very reasonable. Everybody has been this has been almost bizarre to me, Mike. Like, this has been I think, and again, I get it. I'm in Baltimore. I watch him every game. I think Lamar Jackson is the most valuable player because I think he's always the most valuable player. I think he just has the most valuable skill set we've maybe ever seen at the position. But I also get it. It's not going to be a travesty to me if Josh Allen wins MVP. These are guys that are having great seasons. I think we're doing the most when we're trying to, force a Joe Burrow topic that I get it. He's been amazing, but it's just not there. They're almost certainly not even going to get into the playoffs. It's not there. I think that these two guys are incredibly deserving. One of them is going to win, and I think you have a vote, right? I don't envy you. I think it's a very difficult year.
Yeah, I've had a vote for a few years now, and I think that there's a certain baseline of team success that is necessary to be in the conversation. The fundamental problem, though, is that there's no guidance or definition as to what MVP even means.
Right.
It's an age-old question. Most valuable to what? To your team? To the league? I mean, the most valuable player literally in the NFL is Patrick Mahomes.
Correct.
Each and every year
Yes.
that he's in the NFL.
Yes.
And he's been completely overlooked this year, even though the Chiefs are the 1 seed in the AFC, because his numbers can't compare to the other guys. But, since 2013, the MVP has come from a quarterback of a team that earned a bye. Now, at the time, there were 2 byes per conference. Now there are 2 byes for the entire league, 1 in each conference. And since that change was made several years ago, the MVP has come from the quarterback of a team that earned a bye. And I feel like that's going to break this year because the 2 favorites are not from teams that are going to get a bye, whether it's Allen, whether it's Lamar, whether Saquon Barkley ends up breaking the single-season rushing record, which seems unlikely because it would be ludicrous for them to play him this week with nothing to play for. But it comes down to Allen, and it comes down to Lamar. And we started down this path, as you mentioned, a few weeks ago. the betting odds were so overwhelmingly tilted toward Allen. It's like, what the hell are people thinking?
Right.
Like, do they not understand how this process works? And Lamar's got a closing argument in a standalone game on Saturday, and Josh Allen doesn't. And that's going to be a factor as well. If Lamar goes out on Saturday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. Eastern and just goes nuts with like 6 touchdown passes or, whatever, some big performance and has everyone's jaw drop and they clinch the division with that win, that's the last piece of evidence that the voters will see before sitting down next week. I think the votes are due the middle of the week and making that decision as to who the MVP should be. So the people who bet on Allen all season long might be in for a surprise when the awards finally handed out.
Do you have, for you, what matters? And I'm not asking you to tell me who your MVP is, but what matters to you when you make this decision?
Well, here's the thing about it. Because there's very little guidance, you can come up with whatever objective formula you want to support your subjective belief. And for me, I'm guided by the wisdom of the late Felix Frankfurter, who wrote in the notorious Supreme Court opinion on obscenity, you know it when you see it. and I believe, we talk about it ahead of time because it fills segments of TV shows and radio shows, and it's just kind of fun. But I don't even begin to seriously land the plane or try to land the plane until the season's over. I mean, I'll talk about who I think the candidate should be, who I think it may be right now, and who I'd vote for right now. I did a sample 5-man ballot a couple weeks ago as of right now, but when it's done, it's a clean slate and we figure it out. And yeah, you want to see statistical performance. You also want to see team performance. You've got to be on a playoff team at a minimum. I can't imagine, remember when Paul Hornung won the Heisman with a team that won 2 games. You have to be on a team that is winning. You have to be. And if you're not in the playoffs, you're not even in the conversation, period. Adrian Peterson wouldn't have won it in 2012 when he came within 8 yards of the single-season rushing record if he also didn't propel the Vikings to what was an unexpected and unlikely playoff berth that season. So bare minimum, you got to be in the playoffs. But the higher you are on the tree, the better off you are. And then the stats and just what it looks like, what it feels like, the excitement level. And that's where Allen and Lamar are very similar. But, Lamar's having a better year this year than he did last year. It's just they're not the 1 seed.
Right.
And is it his fault they're not the 1 seed if he's having a better year than he had last year? I don't think so.
No, I mean, they had a terrible defense for the better part of the first, at least the first half of the season. Now it's changed a lot. We're chatting with Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk. Mike, what do you make of the argument that is being made about, Lamar now has a better supporting cast than Josh Allen does? Does that resonate with you when it comes to this conversation?
Well, I think it's relevant. I mean, if it really is a one-man band, then it shows the value. In this case, it's back to how do we define the award?
Right.
If it's quality and contribution of player relative to his supporting cast, then give it to Mahomes. Mahomes has less than anybody right now. Travis Kelce is a shell of what he used to be. They're finally coaxing something out of Xavier Worthy. They just got Hollywood Brown back. They didn't have Isaiah Pacheco for most of the year. It was a lot of Patrick Mahomes doing what he had to do to hold the thing together so they could just win and win and win. And that's the thing. They kept winning and winning and winning and winning. And you could make an argument that Mahomes should win it. You could. But again, it all comes down to how we ascertain and articulate and apply that term value. And just because Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis are gone, those guys are gone for a reason. Like James Cook's having a hell of a year. He tied the single season rushing touchdown record set by O.J. Simpson decades ago. So it's not like the cupboard's bare in Buffalo. They got rid of guys that they really didn't want anymore, and the guys who are there are getting it done. Somebody's catching those passes. So, don't know that that's as big of an issue as some would say.
Let me throw one more at for the MVP conversation, then I got a couple things that I want to address with you otherwise, Mike, and that's just the idea that because Josh Allen hasn't won it before, and I get it. Like, to me, that's why I think he's going to win it. I'm convinced that there will be people that will just say, well, Lamar's got 2, he's got none, it's close, I'm giving it to Josh Allen. There are people that will just say, if that's how you vote, you should lose your vote. That's not the way that this works. What do you make of that topic?
Oh, it doesn't surprise me. Look, Peyton Manning was the Super Bowl 41 MVP, and it felt like a career achievement award because he shouldn't have been the Super Bowl 41 MVP.
There's no doubt. Right.
Period.
Right.
And so this is why no one should ever bet on the outcome of a vote of a 50-person panel, because you have no idea what people are going to be motivated by. And at some level, you could have people thinking Josh Allen has been spectacular since he entered the league in 2018, and he deserves the hardware. And yeah, Lamar has 2 of them. What's it going to matter if we give one to Josh Allen? And this is where the subjective and the objective blur together, because if you feel that, then you'll come up with some formula that leads you to where you want to go anyway. Same thing with Lamar. You know, if you want to find that Lamar is the guy, you'll come up with a way to make it happen. So I hope people aren't influenced by that. I especially hope, Glenn, that they aren't influenced by the betting odds. I made this point last week.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's funny because as I was explaining it, I was like speaking as if I was somebody who might be influenced by the betting odds. And I said, I don't want to look stupid if I pick somebody other than who the betting odds favor. And at least one of the media watchdog websites out there thought I was saying it as myself,
first person,
not as someone else. So that was a fun day trying to get the toothpaste back in the tube there. But I think some voters, you know, because not all of them are covering the NFL nationally. Some of them just focus on one team, I believe. But you can have people who just decide to go along with the herd. And, hey, if the betting odds say it's Josh Allen, it must be Josh Allen. And I hope people won't do that.
No, I really did think that was a great point, Mike. I did. And I appreciate you saying it, but because it's just easy to say, well, if everybody else feels this way and I thought it was this other thing, then aren't I going to feel silly? Like, I guess I'm wrong and everybody else is right and go default to
what if my vote gets out? And I think everybody should post their votes. I think there should be full transparency, especially from Tom Brady, who has one of the votes and absolutely positively should not. And it's amazing to me how many people refuse to acknowledge the basic fundamental principle of a conflict of interest. It doesn't matter if he rises above it. It's still a conflict of interest that he should not be in the middle of, and no one should be in the middle of. No team owner should be voting on league-wide awards.
Agree. You and I are doing a lot of that this morning. Completely agree. Mike, where you at with just...
Well, let's come up with something else. Let's fight about something. Where you at?
Where you at? It's funny. I would say you brought this up a minute ago. I actually think the Chiefs are a bigger threat today than they were a year ago at this time, because you referenced they get Hollywood Brown back. I always thought that was going to be a fit for them. Xavier Worthy has started to look good. And with Gray coming along as Kelsey has taken a step back, I actually think they have a better pass-catching group, and I get that some of that is low bar. We were talking about Kadarius Toney a year ago who couldn't catch a football. I think the Chiefs are a bigger threat today than they were a year ago when they won the Super Bowl.
Well, Rashee Rice really came along in the postseason last year, and they're not going to have him this year. I just think when you look at where they were last year on Christmas, they got embarrassed at home by the Raiders. They beat the Bengals on New Year's Eve, which wasn't nearly as impressive as it could have been because they didn't have Joe Burrow. They had Jake Browning at quarterback, but still, that was the spark. And they beat the Dolphins in that deep freeze, break Patrick Mahomes' helmet game. And then it really kicked in when they went to Buffalo and beat the nobody. I mean, they weren't. I picked them to win just because you pick against Patrick Mahomes at your own risk.
Right.
But they went to Buffalo as underdogs and they won. They went to Baltimore as underdogs, as you know, and they won. And by then, if teams change from the start of the season to the end of the season, they can change from week to week. And confidence means a lot. Momentum means a lot. And you just feel like the snowball is getting bigger and bigger. And that's what happened, I believe, for the Chiefs last year. But this year, look at all the close wins. Look at all the narrow escapes. and then they come out on Christmas Day and beat the hell out of a Steelers team that needed that game if it wants to win the division. So the Chiefs are peaking at the right time, and they're going to be hard to beat. I don't know who the biggest threat is. You could say you don't want the Bengals in the playoffs because Joe Burrow is the only active quarterback who's beaten the Chiefs in the postseason. But
defense is so bad. It's so bad.
Listen, hey, I would want to knock out the Broncos if I could. I don't want the Broncos coming back. The Broncos almost beat them at Arrowhead. I don't want Sean Payton and his experience coming up with masterful game plans in the postseason. I don't want that. I want to knock the Broncos out if I can. But I don't know who can beat them at Arrowhead Stadium. I'm not sure anyone can.
I guess that's the question I'm trying to cut. It is if this is real, what the Ravens defense has done in the last 6 weeks, and it's not. It'd be one thing if it was two. When it was 2 weeks, I was dismissive of it. It's 6 weeks now that they've completely righted the ship defensively. And then you combine that with, and these are words that I'll end up regretting because we saw it a year ago, a commitment to Derrick Henry in the postseason. Is that a formula that can go to Kansas City and finally get over the hump?
Well, I think it can. They almost won there in week 1. Now, you might as well have been a decade ago because so much changes from the start of the season to the end of the season. And I think also it's not an accident that when Dean Pease joined the team as a consultant, it took a little while, but I'm sure his influence has a lot to do with the improvement of the defense as the season has unfolded. But they could go there. They could go there and win. Here's what the Ravens are going to have to overcome. First of all, they got to get there. And my concern about the Ravens is they're the kind of team that is prone to bizarre lapses that will cause their season to fall apart. And they could lose in the wild card round. They could go back to, if they don't win the division, they could go back to Houston and lose. I mean, they could. They could. We've seen that happen where it's like, where are the Ravens today?
If they lose to Bailey Zappi, they should. There's no way.
Yeah. But it's 18 points. They'll be fine. But the 6th seed. I mean, Jim could come to town and finally beat John. The bottom line is this: whoever is going to kill the dragon that is the Kansas City Chiefs has to be able to build a lead and hold it. Because with Mahomes and company, what's a double-digit lead in the second half of the Super Bowl is nothing. They just shrug at it like they shrug at everything. They are so accustomed to saving their butts when the game's on the line and when the season's on the line that I think it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy in a given game for them where they believe it's just a matter of time, and I think it works on the opponent. You've got to overcome that mentally when you're looking across the line at the Chiefs and you can't be thinking, here it comes, because it always does.
No, and I do think that the Steelers thing was big for that. They needed to get that monkey off their back. They had to accomplish. Now, does that change everything, to your point? Probably not. But I do think they had to do that in order to have a chance. And then quickly, who's the team for you to beat in the NFC?
Well, it's funny. We're so caught up in the Lions and the Vikings. Devin McCourty and I were talking about that earlier today, what a huge game that is to determine the 1 seed in the NFC. Meanwhile, the Eagles have just kind of become forgotten in that conversation. The Eagles are still a highly talented team. The question is, can the Vikings or the Lions, because inevitably one or both of them will be playing Philadelphia, can they come up with a game plan that can neutralize the Philadelphia offense? I think the Vikings defense can under Brian Flores, but there's going to be some great playoff games at the top of the NFC. And in the AFC, it's fairly wide open. I don't think the Texans belong with the rest of the group.
No. But
the rest of the group is going to be pretty damn good, especially if it's the Broncos that make it or if the Bengals slip in. The Dolphins are the only ones who don't belong in that conversation as a wild card.
What am I plugging for you, my friends?
Well, you know what? I'll share this with you, too, since it's the day before New Year's. I haven't announced it at PFT yet, but my New Year's resolution, I only make one like every 21 years. I made a New Year's resolution in 2004 that if I was ever going to make anything out of PFT, I needed to work on it every single day. And 21 years later, I have worked on it every single day of my life for now 21 years and counting. So my New Year's resolution as of tomorrow, all of my ebooks on Amazon are going to be 99 cents and 99 cents only. Because knock on wood, I've been fortunate financially from my day job. I don't care about the money. I just want people to read the books and enjoy them. That's so cool. Father of Mine, Son of Mine, On Our Way Home, whatever else I put out next on Amazon, it's going to be 99 cents for the ebook. That's my New Year's resolution. and it's easy to stick to because I don't have to do anything other than just change the price and sit back and hope people, buy it, read it, and enjoy it.
That's awesome, man. Mike, I'm happy for you as always. You're the best. At Pro Football Talk. People know where to find you. Like, I got to tell them where to find you. Happy New Year, brother.
I sometimes I don't want people to find me. Don't tell them where I am.
Stay away from him. Love you, man. Appreciate you. Let's talk soon, all right?
Thanks, pal.
So Mike Florio with us here on GCR. Look, that's not going to get a ton of play today on social media because, he's not just going to say anything bombastic. But I appreciate that about Mike, that he's just going to say, I'm going to continue thinking about it, and I'm going to wait till the end of the year, and I've got final numbers and final everything, and all of that matters. I appreciate that. I saw somewhere, does Josh Allen have a streak of, starting every game? And so the word is the Bills are going to let him go out and at least start their final game.
He's going to play a series maybe,
A series?
Yeah. So at least that's what it sounded like.
I mean, he's going to run the ball on every play, right? Yeah. He's going to go out there. He's not handing the ball. That's for sure. One thing that you can guarantee, it's going to be really weird how one series turns into a quarter, right? All of a sudden they're like, well, a half wouldn't hurt. They're like, yeah, we rested him for a half. Tried to find him 5 touchdowns in the first half. You just know that's the way it's going to go this weekend. All right, today's show brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. Griffin, what's going on at Live Casino and Hotel?
I think everybody is familiar. You're getting your $7 in free slot play at Live Casino this season. It is every time that a touchdown is scored during home games for Baltimore and Washington. Live Rewards members get that $7 in free slots. Have to have your Live Rewards card inserted correctly into the slot machine, any slot machine on the floor, and be actively playing in order to get your prize. But once those touchdowns score, home games during Baltimore for Baltimore and Washington, of course. Baltimore home this Saturday.
That's right.
$7 in free slot play every time a touchdown is scored. At Ronald Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right. We'll deal with this guy, and then we'll make our picks for the college football playoff. It is Ken Zalis, and he is with us this morning here on GCR. KZ, I would say congratulations, but the truth is we're kicking you out of your league. It's just the way that's going to go. You rigged it to try to benefit yourself this year. It's shameful behavior, and so you're.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you're out.
I'm happy to run one less league, so you're not breaking my heart here.
Just what you've done. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. There's not been enough accountability here, so it's just we've decided that's the end of it. You're out. It's not that you're not allowed to run it. You're out of the league. We're kicking you out. So I'm sorry, old man. We're putting you out the pasture. That's the way that.
That's okay.
That's the way.
I'm good. I try to find ways to get out of all the leagues I play in.
Yeah.
So
it's called rigging them. That's the way that you found it. It's called rigging them.
Okay.
Here, I'm going to change all of the rules and tell no one. Ha ha!
It's like I changed them anyway. I'm not going down this rabbit hole.
Well, it worked. Congrats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something
Thanks.
along those
Well done.
lines. Yeah, you rigged it. You rigged it good, pal. You rigged it.
I was an underdog going in.
Oh, were
I wasn't
ya?
even the top seed.
Were you?
The betting line said,
boy, what a feel-good Cinderella story that must be for everybody.
Came out of nowhere.
Christ. I would feel worse about this if there were any money involved.
I was told there would be a prize.
Oh, I'm
but
sure. Yeah, you work on that. You let me know when that comes across.
Anyway, we won't go down that rabbit hole either.
The only person I like less than you is Raheem Morris. That's the list. That's the list of people that are on my enemies list. I should be within one game. All right, we're going to make our college football playoff picks. Here's the way this is working this week. We're doing these 4 picks this week, and then we're going to pick 5 of the game. The NFL slate sucks this week.
Sucks.
Not against the Bahamas Bowl. I told you.
Yeah, we're not picking the Bahamas Bowl,
Come
Griffin.
on,
We're not doing.
it's the final bowl
You might as well. You can't find 5. You can't find
No,
5
There are 5
NFL games that matter.
No, there are 5 games that involve at least one team that matters. There are in fact I think 6 or 7.
Okay. Does that mean we have to wait until Tuesday to do all this?
What?
Are we? Oh, that's right. It's not the Monday night game.
Yeah,
It's
there's no
Sunday
Monday
night
night
game.
No, there's no Monday night game this week.
Okay.
No.
Oh, yeah,
no
we
Monday
could
night
pick the FCF championship. That is
Ah,
Monday night.
we could.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, so
Ooh.
anyway, moving on.
See, Ken's in.
Moving on. Griffin, so bullish about this. He's not even in the top, 10 in our bull pick'em. He's not even.
There's a lot of time left.
Sure.
A lot of games today, a lot of games
John from Little Rock
tomorrow.
in first place
Yeah, he is in
by
first place.
2
For now,
games.
for now.
Little separation right now for John and Little Rock in the bull pick'em. All right, let's get into it. So we're going to pick the 4 college football playoff games today, and then on Thursday we'll pick the rest of the games, whether that's on air or not. I got other things that I got to deal with for Thursday. Every day it's something new. Every day I ask Griffin, hey, can Jeremy do the drinking show on Thursday? Yeah, no problem. He's good.
So we're canceling it for a third time?
Oh, no. We're not canceling it anymore. But we're going to deal with the fact that Jeremy just texted and said, here's the thing, I can't eat or drink. I'm having a colonoscopy on Friday. What?
Well, it's a healthy thing to do.
Wait a minute. He's got to drink the stuff on air, though, right?
Oh, I'm not opposed to that.
Oh, see?
That would be a good bit. All right, I'll deal with that.
There we go. We have an even better
I
showdown.
don't have time to deal with it right now. Let's get into 4 picks that we're making today. The first game is tonight, correct?
Yeah, the first game is tonight. It is the Verbo Fiesta Bowl down in Glendale. Is Andrew Stecker in attendance? He's just gonna.
I don't think so.
Why wouldn't he? It's a home game for him.
Okay.
The number 6 seeded Penn State Nittany Lions are taking on the number 3 seeded Boise State Broncos.
A lot of Fiesta Bowl history for Boise State.
Yeah, as I'm learning. Tonight at 7:30 on ESPN. And the Nittany Lions, I don't know if the line's moved at all, but we got it at 11. 11 flat is the line for Penn State.
I got to tell you, I don't like – I didn't like doing it the first time. I don't like doing it any more the next time, right? Penn State with big numbers – stinks. I don't know if Boise State's any good. I don't think they're going to throw the ball to Penn State as often. The part of that we're missing from the SMU game is that it involved conspiracy. Penn State wasn't very good that day. The SMU quarterback McDaniels, what was his name?
Jennings. Kevin Jennings.
Thank you. Why did I think it was McDaniels?
I don't know.
Somebody else. That guy just kept throwing them the ball. I don't think that Boise is going to keep throwing them the ball. I hate myself for this one. Boise's the pick.
That's disappointing. Penn State's one of the 3 best teams in the country. Just ask anybody.
Yeah, sure.
Death taxes and Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl.
There we go. By the way, did you know that Griffin is so young he knew nothing of the legendary Boise State?
So I believe this. Yes,
it's the greatest football game of our lifetimes. And
yeah,
Griffin's
it was the greatest thing that ever happened.
What did you
up
think
to
it was
that point
cool
in
because you
football?
were there? I'm like, no, I thought it was cool because it was the greatest game we had ever seen.
It really was, and I would encourage people to go watch it because it holds up.
Oh,
today.
it holds up amazing.
It holds up. If you like
Yes.
everything that the Detroit Lions are doing,
Yeah.
Boise State did it in that game first.
Yeah. Statue of Liberty, hook and ladder. All of
Oh my God, it was the greatest thing in the world. Because we all hated Oklahoma back then.
Yeah, and they were playing their guys. It's the part that you can't
Right.
explain to somebody. It was really
Nobody
Adrian Peterson was
none
on
of
the
this
field.
opt out and transfer
Yeah.
stuff. Everybody played. It was
God,
great.
It was the greatest. I high-fived everyone for a week, and I didn't have anything. I was at the game. That part is true. I was there.
And nobody and the only thing we all had in common is we just didn't want.
Yes.
It was cool that this was finally happening.
It was the first time
and it
we'd
was
ever
Boise
seen
State. We didn't care about
right.
Boise State.
Not at all. But
they were the goofy school with the blue
It
turf.
was the closest thing we had ever seen to an NCAA tournament upset in football. It
Yes,
was
yes.
the first
Yes.
time we had ever had anything like that in
Oh,
college
God,
football.
it was fantastic.
Electric.
Boise State should wear those uniforms tonight.
They should wear them out all the time. They look great.
They should.
Yes. What do you got? Pick.
Is it me?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
Casey,
you.
Casey, who'd you take?
He picked Boise.
Okay.
Jesus.
I picked Boise.
Yeah, I'm going. I really want to pick Boise. Like Ash and Jenny's fun, and but these are the spots where James Franklin is actually good when he is a large favorite and he likes running up the score. I think like Penn State should be able to probably run the ball at will here. Like Boise State's used to going against these Mountain West offenses. I don't think I can really trust Boise State's defense. And I hope it's a good game because it's going to be the only thing on. And I do think Genty will probably get his at some point, but I'm not sure that Boise State can stop Penn State. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the 11 here.
That illustrious Penn State offense.
I mean, they're just going to have to find a way to. Well, when they're going against a team they're double-digit favorites over,
if you say so,
Franklin takes care of business. Yeah, I'm taking Penn State. Andrew Stecca joins you guys on Boise State.
That is my one fear in this pick, is that they'll be up by 7 late, and that James Franklin will say, we got to go get one for the alum. So that's my only fear in all of this.
John Proctor with you guys, as is Paul Valley and Ryan Shell are on Boise State as well.
That used to be good. No,
he's a total freefall.
Unbelievable. Good girl loves her mama.
1 o'clock tomorrow, New Year's Day game, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The Texas Longhorns are taking on the Arizona State Sun Devils. And Texas, 13-point favorites.
I mean, I hate that too, right? Like, I just hate all of these. But I get they all came through in the first round. But I'd also acknowledge that in the first round, these are all on-campus games, and I do think that's a little bit different. I don't know, man. Part of, like, there's a part of me that wants to say, dude, if you're picking Boise State, why wouldn't you turn around and pick Arizona State? But some of that is I still just don't think of anything of Penn State's offense, and I don't feel that way about Texas. I think they do have a capable offense, so I'm going to pick Texas here.
When did the Peach Bowl become an important bowl?
That happened when they expanded.
No,
Chick-fil-A was on it for a long time before that. It happened when they expanded to, because remember it was only 4 bowls they would.
It was the 4. Then like the Citrus Bowl was kind of in there.
No, they added the Cotton Bowl and the Peach Bowl were the 2 that they added to it. They had the Orange Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, and the Rose Bowl were the 4. And then when they expanded to the New Year's 6, that was a thing that happened. I don't remember what year, but
I don't know when. I just never remembered.
Anyway,
you know where I'm going. I've gone all year. Texas is one of my teams. I'm going to stick with them. I'll be honest. I don't know a damn thing about Arizona State. They're one of these teams that, like, near the end when we started getting concerned about this, I was like, oh, okay, what conference do they play in? I had no idea. So I'll take Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything about it should say that Texas should roll here. However, the number is probably like right exactly where it needs to be, just because it'll probably be similar to that Clemson game where, like, unlike James Franklin, Sark does not like run up the score. He just gets a win by any means necessary. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and lay it. I do think I probably will have to drive to the PA so I can bet the Camp Scattaboo props, namely the receiving props with Arizona State trailing.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Texas does win this here, and I can't make an argument for Arizona State even though they're getting almost 2 touchdowns. However, one person can.
Oh,
Kyle Ottenheimer is a lone wolf.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Sun Devils.
Do it.
Ow!
Thank you. What a weird bit.
Wow.
To the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. This one will be at 5 o'clock tomorrow. All the games are on ESPN. The number 8 seeded Ohio State Buckeyes taking on the number 1 Oregon Ducks in the national championship, and it is Ohio State minus 2.5.
Yeah, Oregon. I mean, what are we doing? Like, I get it. Ohio State might very well win the game, and they might well win by cover. Here's what I know, is that you trying to convince me that Ohio State is definitively the best team when they're the team that's lost 2 games this season? Nah, I ain't doing this bit. I might be wrong about this, but betting the team that has beaten everybody this season and was, tested by Wisconsin, like, I get it. They didn't look infallible, but they checked every box. Oregon, that's the pick.
What's the line?
It is Ohio State laying 2.5.
Where's the game?
The game is in Pasadena. It's at the Rose Bowl.
It just doesn't make sense at all.
Well, it's the thing where they've said all year. Everybody has said Ohio State's the best team in the country talent-wise.
Okay, that's fine, but
that's what
you're
on.
Back to. It's essentially a home game for Oregon.
No, it's not that. You couldn't be more wrong about that. In fact, I don't think they won't even have half the fans there. There will be more Ohio State fans at the Rose Bowl than there will be Oregon fans.
I think
wrong.
That
you're wrong about this.
Or everybody loves Oregon. They have the cool uniforms.
Yeah, they have cool uniforms.
I'm going to take Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed we couldn't have gotten this game 3 times. I wish it would have lined up that Ohio State would have played them in the Big Ten championship, and then they could have made the bracket correctly so that that way these two would have met in the national championship. Because I feel like I could watch these teams play every single minute of every day. I think Ohio State might have the better roster, just looking at it on paper. But I love Dan Lanning so much, and yeah, they're getting 2.5 points here. They have not lost, so how can I go against Oregon? I'm not going against Oregon. 2 people will though. Jeremy Kahn is taking Ohio State. And the Bowl Whisperer, John in Little Rock, is taking Ohio State here. Those are the only 2.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I don't love that either.
Yeah.
Now the final one tomorrow, an 8:45 kick, so this probably won't kick off until after 9, and it probably won't end until about 1 a.m. The All-State Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. Number 7 Notre Dame. They are taking on the number 2 Georgia Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs 1-point favorites.
They're still favorites without Carson Beck. Oh, I hate this. I was really hoping that you were going to tell me they were dogs so that I could take Georgia. You can't take them as favorites without their quarterback.
Gunnar Stockton's
Sure. Notre Dame.
I hate Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I just do. But outside of the fiasco in game 1, they've been really good. And they check all the boxes of when you watch a football team. If they just had a different name, you'd be all about them. I actually think they're playing. I actually think they're playing outside of Oregon, because how could you argue about perfect? The best football of anybody right now. I don't even know who the quarterback is anymore for Georgia, so I'm going to take the points in Notre Dame.
I mean, was Carson Beck really that great, though? I mean,
he wasn't that great, but he was.
Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah, I mean, but who's the backup?
Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah,
Gunnar Stockton.
Great.
KZ, come on.
Okay, well that's great.
Georgia,
okay,
Georgia
I mean,
guy.
besides that we like his first name, that's fine.
He does have a good name. Exactly. I'm not going against Gunnar.
As
long as he can.
He spells it with an E.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
I wrote it down in my notes as an A.
Now I bet
so
you
I
feel
it was
silly.
Right. Well, I'm gonna pretend it's still an A. So yeah, I'm taking Gunnar Stockton. I mean, he can hand it all. He can hand the ball off to Trevor Etienne. So I think. I mean, it's gonna be a good game. Both run the ball very, very well. Maybe an under. Hopefully a quick pace, since this game it'll end at 1 a.m. no matter what. I'm taking Georgia. Same thing. I like Kirby Smart too much here, so I will take the dogs here. We are slightly split here. You both are on the Irish. Andrew Stecca joins you on Notre Dame, as does James Revere and Jeremy Kahn. And yeah, you are the 5 on Notre Dame. Everyone else on the Bulldogs.
So wait a minute. Did Glenn and I just pick all 4 games the same?
Both picked
I don't love that.
Both picked Oregon.
I don't love that.
Well, you should love it. I should love it.
Because you're so great.
Yeah, you guys went 4 for 4.
No.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to flip, KZ?
No.
You give everybody else.
All right.
Give everybody else the star treatment. I just go to the sideline.
He's defaulted into a tie for first place because Ryan Shell stinks. He's defaulted.
Well, who am I tied with? Revere?
James,
James Revere. That's who you're tied with. Ben
he's come from the middle of the pack, right?
Yeah, that is true. That is a thing that's happened. He has separated himself a little bit. We will see if that can continue. All right. I don't know when we're talking to you. I don't know if we're doing something on Thursday. I don't know what's going on, but I love you.
Well, I may try on Thursday.
Oh, the wander by?
Yeah, I may wander.
Oh, look at you! Come on, wander by.
I don't have to go back to school until Monday.
It will be the anti-drinking show. I don't know what we're doing.
I'll bring a ginger ale for Jeremy.
Yeah.
This is what you got, Casey.
I got to make a hot Dr. Pepper. All right. Love you, buddy. Is it still Hanukkah? Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thanks, pal. See you. That's Casey with this here. All right. I got to squeeze a break in. Can we squeeze a break in? Then we'll talk to Chris Broussard. That's next. Glenn Clark Radio.
The ultimate fan experience awaits you at Sports and Social Maryland. See how we're raising the sports bar with our massive 100-foot media wall featuring 40 HD TVs and a 47-foot big screen. Bet on your favorite teams and this year's biggest events at the FanDuel Sportsbook while enjoying your favorite beers and cocktails, plus our delicious takes on bar food classics. Visit Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass Plus from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your EasyPass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your EasyPass account. Learn more at DriveEasyMD.com.
PressBox's Project Game Day is the place to be after every game this season. Join Glenn Clark, Rita Hubbard, Super Bowl 35 champion Femi Ayanbadejo, and our cast of regulars as they break down what happened, why it mattered, and what it means moving forward. You can watch the show at PressBoxOnline.com/GameDay or PressBox's Facebook and YouTube pages. Project Game Day is brought to you by the Green Turtle Sportsbook in Towson and Canton, EasyPass, and HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. So join us for Project Game Day after every game day this football season at PressBoxOnline.com/GameDay.
Treat yourself and taste the Baltimore tradition that is the legendary Costas Inn. Hey, it's Stan the Fan Charles. For over 50 years, the Costas Inn has been a Baltimore original, dishing out their amazingly scrumptious, fat, award-winning crab cakes and steamed crabs. Every season is crab season at Costas, so make your plans now by calling 410-477-1975 and reserve your taste of heaven. Sit back, crack some crabs, and watch the Ravens chase down another title on Costas' 15 TVs. On Monday nights, Costas offers their half-pound jumbo lump crab cake with 2 sides for under $30, and there are nightly specials Monday through Friday. So head on down to the Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard or visit them at CostasInn.com.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
COVID-19 and flu viruses are circulating in Maryland. But don't worry, protection is within arm's reach. Protect your health with this year's COVID-19 and flu shots. It's safe and convenient to get them both at the same time. Flex your protection. For more information, visit health.maryland.gov/vaccines.
This message paid for by the Maryland Department of Health.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR into hour number 2 of a Tuesday edition of the program. Final show of 2024. Oh man, this guy, he's been loving life recently after things looked a little hairy there a few weeks back. He has of course become like the guy, the Ravens' voice on national TV. He is Mr. Chris Broussard, Fox Sports 1. He's back with us now here on GCR. Chris, Happy New Year, brother. Thank you for taking the time as always.
Happy holidays, Happy New Year, man. And I know it's a Happy New Year for all the Ravens fans. The teams look like they finally gotten it together.
Life is good. Life is good. Like, it's funny because I remember us talking a few weeks back and, like, man, we were legit worried, like, at that point, and for good reason. Are you convinced that, like, what they've done defensively is real, that this is legitimate, and that this is a team that has as good an opportunity as anyone to take out the Kansas City Chiefs now?
Yes, I am. Now, with the defense, it's not what it was last year. Obviously, it was the best defense in the league last year. It probably isn't quite as good as the numbers suggest because over the last 6 games, I think they're allowing 16 points a game. That would be like tops in the league. But they've done it against 5 playoff teams. So it is, it's not like they've just beaten up on the dregs of the league. So they've definitely improved. Obviously, the changes they made with, Kyle Hamilton and other guys on the defense have really paid off. And I think, Dean Pease, give him credit. He came in and gradually they've gotten better, him helping Zach Orr. So I do think the defense is good enough for them to, win a Super Bowl. I do feel, the second part of your question, do I feel as good about them as anybody having a chance to beat the Chiefs? Absolutely. Like, I'm not worried. If I'm the Ravens, I'm not worried about Houston. Cincinnati, if they get in, is interesting just because, the cliche, it's tough to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. And those 2 games when the Ravens won this year were very close. So that would be, Cincinnati would be tough, but I'd take the Ravens in that. I do think they're clearly the better team, especially now that they have their defense together. Obviously, Denver, the Chargers, and even Buffalo. Like, that'll be the thing. They could meet in the second round against the Bills. I feel very confident that the Ravens would beat them. Yeah, obviously, they pummeled them earlier in the season, but I just feel like they're the better team all around. Buffalo obviously has the great Josh Allen, but Lamar can match him, and then the Ravens have way more than Lamar. So I feel, it's the question to me. I feel like we are headed for a rematch of the AFC Championship game, and can the Ravens beat the Chiefs? And I think there is a mystique at play, particularly with the Ravens. One that I don't think is at play with the Bengals or the Bills when they play the Chiefs, because they've beaten the Chiefs recently, or at least fairly recently, and feel like they can do it. How confident are the Ravens against the Chiefs? That's the question, because the talent-wise, they can beat them. But will they go out there and do it on the field?
No, it's exactly a fair question. It's been a long time since the one time that Lamar Jackson did beat Patrick Mahomes in the COVID season of 2020. Let me touch on, because I saw what you said on First Things First, and I think I agree with you. Like, I think Lamar Jackson's the MVP of the league, but I do think that it's going to end up being Josh Allen, and I don't think it's the end of the world that it's going to be Josh Allen. I think it's a little silly, because I feel like it's going to be the people default to, well, Lamar's 1-2, so hey, it's close. I'm just going to give it to Josh Allen. Like, I think that's dumb, but I just think it's human nature, and it's going to happen that way. I don't think it's the end of the world. In a way, I almost wish they'd be announcing MVP like before the playoffs, so that maybe Lamar Jackson could use that as like a motivator for the rest of the way.
Well, look, I haven't talked to Lamar. I don't even know Lamar personally, so I don't know how he feels. But if I had to guess how he feels inside, I bet he couldn't care less about the MVP.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, I really think everybody wants individual awards. The most unselfish player in the league, Tom Brady, whoever, wanted individual awards, right? So I'm not saying he doesn't care about winning MVPs, but at this point, he's got two. It's like, I got two. I need a Super Bowl. And the more MVPs he racks up without a Super Bowl, it just heightens the pressure, and it will heighten the criticism. So I think he really is like, whatever. I'm focused on that Lombardi trophy. I don't think that's issue. As far as the voting, look, I vote for the NBA MVP. Like, I'm an official voter. I'm not with the NFL. And I do take historical precedent and impact into my voting. I look back now, and I feel like it's a travesty that Shaq only has one MVP award, and Kobe only has one MVP award. It just – and so let me explain, like, Michael Jordan had 5 MVP awards. How many could he have won? How many years was he the best player? Probably 10.
Yep. 10. Yep.
LeBron could have got 8. I don't know. But they didn't, because there's always been this, you know what, if it's pretty close and you got another, like, Hall of Fame caliber player and he hasn't gotten one, you know what, you can give it to him. And so I really feel like there are 3 guys who, if you gave it to them, you couldn't argue against it. And that's Josh, Lamar, and Saquon. I think if Saquon got it, I don't know how anybody's going to, like, frown on that. So I just think it's close. I think Lamar has definitely been better statistically. There's no doubt. But he does have Derrick Henry, and Josh has a lesser cast around him. So I'm fine with Josh. I used yesterday, I said last week, I think Lamar has been the better player, and I feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
But when I use my criteria that I use for NBA voters, and one of them is historical precedent and impact, that to me puts Josh over the top, because I just feel like they're close. You can argue for him, and he hasn't gotten one yet. So people might get mad about it, but here's the other thing. No one who's won 3 MVPs in the history of the league ever won their third before winning their first Super Bowl. So that's the thing, too. And that's where history plays a role as well.
He is Chris Broussard. He's with us here on GCR. it's funny because I want to be the guy that I want to be the one that says that I'm mad about that. Like if he's the guy, he should just be the guy. And I do feel that way, that like ultimately, like if you're the most valuable player of the league, you should just be the most valuable player of the league. All that being said, I'm still not. I can't. I would be forcing it to try to get angry about it. I can't. Whatever. It's
And I will say, look, if Lamar didn't have any, and you probably agree with me, he'd be running away with it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be close, right? No doubt.
Like, his numbers are just they're way better than Josh.
Well,
it's not close.
I could also almost make like a college football playoff argument here too, where like you don't want this to be close, then don't lose to the Raiders, don't lose to the Browns.
Yeah,
right?
No, yeah, absolutely.
Take the ammo away, and then we don't have these conversations, and you could say, hey, those weren't his fault, but they weren't, but. Like just will yourself to that. I don't know. I do think that all those things matter, and I can't ignore the fact that the Bills did beat the Chiefs and the Lions. That happened. Like that does stand
real.
out, right?
Yep.
Like that is
no doubt.
If that's what people default to, what's my retort? Well, I mean the Ravens did beat the Bills, but it's where it is. I'm in a strange place where I think what you said is important, which is there's got to be a level of peace. MVPs are not – Lamar Jackson does not need another MVP to change. He's already gotten the two – you win 2 NFL MVPs, you're in the Hall of Fame. That's the way that it works.
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Now, when we're talking about legacy, there's just one thing that matters, and it's being infallible for 4 games. It's doing the thing that you haven't done yet. And so I really can personally, as a Ravens fan, say I don't care all that. I don't. I think it's Lamar, but I don't care. This is the part now. This is it. Everything is going to be governed by can you put together one of these 4-game stretches where you don't cough the ball up, where you don't do anything that allows for a team to take advantage of it.
Well, look, he has been so good this year, and I think we all agree this is his best year ever. As great as he was that first MVP year, this is his best year ever, clearly, that the pressure is really on him more than ever. Like, we know he hasn't been great in the playoffs. He was great last year against Houston. Overall, hasn't really played that well in the playoffs. He's been so good this year that if he goes out and doesn't play well,
it's a thing.
He is really going to catch it.
Yep.
And to be honest, Peyton Manning caught it. Like, the greats catch it until you win. John Elway caught it. And he doesn't even, to be honest, he just has to win. He's got 2, like, if he doesn't play that well, but they win, which that's hard to fathom, but still, if they win the Super Bowl and he's not tremendous, that gets the monkey off his back because you won. That's all that matters. If he plays great and for the defense fails them and, they don't win because of that or whatever, then I don't think you can fault him either. And so that'll, that the criticism won't be on him, but the pressure to win the Super Bowl is going to ratchet up now every year that he doesn't win it until he wins his first.
No, it's a great point, man. It really is. Like that, and it's funny you say that too, because if Derrick Henry carries them to a Super Bowl, like nobody remembers that Peyton Manning wasn't good the 2 times that he won Super Bowls.
Right.
Like
absolutely.
He was a pedestrian, obviously, on the last one. But even on the first one, he barely did anything.
Right.
But history has forgotten that. Like he got 2 Super Bowls. He did what he needed to do in order for us to look back and say Peyton Manning lived up to all of the expectations that we had for him.
Absolutely.
So yeah, if Derrick and by the way, the answer might be ride Derrick Henry for 4 games. Like you brought him here. He's not here for 20 years. Like ride the hell out of Derrick Henry for 4 playoff games and see if he can win a Super Bowl that way.
Well, and that's what's so frustrating, or it hasn't been the last several weeks, but earlier in the season and even last year in that playoff game against the Chiefs, what's so frustrating about the Ravens is I truly believe if they play their game and they don't lose sight of the game plan or the best way they should play, they'll win.
Right.
Like against the Chiefs. Like when you got Lamar and Derrick Henry, that is so much for the defense to worry about. And they just have to play the way they should play, which to your point is riding Derrick Henry. And then that opens up the play action and your receivers are open because they're worried about Henry. Then they got to worry about Lamar running. Like, if they just play their game, I really believe, as great as the Chiefs are, that they can beat them. They should have beat them last year.
Yeah.
They almost beat them as badly as they played, and as many self-inflicted wounds with the penalties and everything that they had. And look, hopefully Justin Tucker, he's been good the last few weeks, hitting a couple 50-plus yarders. Hopefully he's over his issues, and they don't, and the penalties too. They've been great with penalties the last few weeks. So if they've gotten over those things, I feel good about their chance.
I appreciate everything you just said, Chris, which is I do think the Ravens are better than the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, what they've proven in these last few years, to take nothing, Patrick Mahomes clearly great, right? There's no doubt.
Yeah.
But no one maybe, outside of Tom Brady has handled the moment better than the Kansas City Chiefs. They haven't blinked. They don't blink. And that's what separated them, and that's what's made them great, is that they get into these moments and they know exactly what to do and when to call their timeouts and how to handle. Like, they don't blink in those spots, and the Ravens have blinked. And so that's what the difference is at this point. All right, and we know that you've become a Ravens fan in part because of Nick and everything there, and we've loved it. We've loved it. We appreciate it. We do. I know that there are a lot of people in your mentions. It's a very personal thing. Baltimore's not in the DMV, Chris. We don't.
I know. I heard.
I know everybody was all over
you.
I know everybody was all.
It's
over
in Maryland, isn't it?
I understand the I know. It's for the DMV is like the area around DC, and that's why it's District Maryland, Virginia, because it covers parts of all those states. It's a whole thing. We take it very personally. I understand. I'm not mad at you. I love you. I appreciate you. God, it's a whole thing. Anyway,
I was in. I do consider the DC Baltimore area as one, but I guess I'm technically wrong. So
yeah. That's like the number one way to uningratiate yourself. So, if as a neutral football fan, AFC Championship game, NFC Championship game, what are you rooting for to get out of this whole playoff run?
Wow. Well, first of all, obviously, I want the Ravens to win it all.
Yeah.
But as a neutral, see, this is where I'm tripped up. As a neutral fan, I probably want them to meet somebody other than the Chiefs in the AFC title game.
Yeah, but
because, like I said, I would have no question about them being able to beat anybody else, and I don't see that happening. I think the Chiefs are going to be there.
Yeah.
But I would say Chiefs, Ravens. And Ravens pull it out. Now, my pick in the NFC was Green Bay. I think they're a long shot, obviously. I think they're just slightly below the Detroits and Minnesotas and Philadelphia's in the NFC. But my pick would be Green Bay and, like, my desire, Green Bay and I guess Detroit, if that can happen. I don't know the seeding, but if that can happen, in the NFC Championship game, I'd like to see that. I really love to see Philly and Green Bay, but I think they may end up playing in the first round. So,
I think it's like because Jalen Hurts got hurt, I was even guilty of it for a second, like forgetting just how much Philly was rolling. Like they're a machine, man. When Jalen Hurts is healthy, it's nuts. So.
Philly is probably the most talented team in the league.
Wow.
They don't have. I mean, Jalen probably. I mean, not
right.
Definitely, because if you want to argue with some of the even though the defense has played really well this year, but you can argue in that. But they got arguably the best receiving core in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, the best running back, or right there with Derrick Henry. Now, Jalen is not as good as Lamar, obviously. So it's how big is the gap between their receivers and the Ravens receivers, and Lamar and Jalen. But Philly is tough, and so it's going to be. But the NFC is wide open. I think it's more open than the AFC. I think the AFC, it's either Kansas City or Baltimore, with Buffalo hovering. But I don't think they would beat the Ravens.
At Chris_Broussard is how you follow him, and of course, first things first on Fox Sports 1. Chris, is there anything else we can plug for you, brother?
Man, I appreciate it. I love, coming on with you guys, and Ravens Nation, the flock, and all that. I'm happy to represent, man.
Man, you're killing it. Let's do this again, like before the week of the AFC Championship game. All right, and like let's
absolutely
let's pray that comes to fruition, and we'll have that chat. Happy New Year, man. Thank you for doing it. Really appreciate you.
All right, my man. Happy New Year.
Chris Broussard with us here on GCR. Today's show, or just talking about the Ravens, a reminder that Project Game Day returns. We will be back in action this Saturday immediately following Ravens-Browns. Come hang out with us, PressBoxOnline.com/gameday. Myself, Femi, Rita, KZ, Stekka, Griffin. You never know who else is popping in. PressBoxOnline.com/gameday, all brought to you by Easy Pass and 1-800-GAMBLER. PressBoxOnline.com/gameday for Project Game Day this Saturday. And for as many playoff games as there are. Hopefully, we'll be doing lots of Project Game Days until mid-February. Hopefully, that's the case. Can't, I don't get to control that, but hopefully that's the way it's going to go. All right. Unfortunately, because of stuff going on in my life, it has been a couple of weeks since we have chatted with our next guest. He will be joining us again every Tuesday throughout the college basketball season. He is our buddy Patrick Stevens, and he is back with us now here on GCR. Patrick, Happy New Year, brother. Thank you for taking the time as always.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
I saw on Blue Sky, of course, you can follow Patrick at Discourse, D1S Course, that you were kind of doing a thumbnail on everybody as they're getting ready for conference play. So I thought that would probably be a good thing for us to do as they move into conference play. And I guess we start with Maryland, who, when they look great, they look really, really great. And they look like a team, Patrick, that could compete to do wild things. I think the next couple of weeks probably go a long way into really giving a glimpse of what this team is capable of doing.
I certainly think to some extent you're right. I mean, what is it? It's at Washington, at Oregon. I think it's
UCLA.
I think for any team, any team going west at this point is looking for a split, right? Like you just want to get a split and get out of there. Come home, play UCLA, play Minnesota, go to Northwestern, Nebraska at home, out to Illinois and Indiana, I think, for the next two after that, and then Wisconsin to close out January. So there's not exactly a ton of places to hide. I mean, the Minnesota game should be a win for Maryland at home. But beyond that, this is a different type of animal than what they've been dealing with so far for the most part. I mean, I think when you look at even the non-conference games that they won against more prominent competition, Villanova, not quite vintage level Villanova, Syracuse, not great at all. This is a different level. At the same time, you can make a pretty good case that the worst that Maryland has played all year so far was on Saturday against Maryland Eastern Shore, and they still won by 15. Mm-hmm. So that's not a bad situation to have when your worst game still nets you a 15-point victory, and everyone's just kind of shrugging about, well, we had a few days off, and we just weren't sharp. So I think when you look at that, you have to feel like Maryland's overall consistency has been good enough, and the interior play has been good enough, and Jacoby Gillespie has been smooth enough, on and on down the line, that this is a team that's in pretty good position right now. And so I think that, whether they win or lose, there's enough consistency that we've seen so far to suggest that they're probably going to be okay and find themselves into that top third or so of the Big Ten standings by the time all is said and done.
It feels like when they're shooting, and like obviously in the Syracuse game, my God, were they shooting, right? Like, but when they're shooting, it really, you start to wonder what they might be capable of doing. Like, if this team is shooting, can they beat almost anyone in the country?
Well, I think with the way they defend, they don't even have to shoot that great to put themselves in the position to beat really good teams. It's when they happen to shoot on top of that that become kind of scary, So, you kind of look at what they've done offensively to this point. You have to feel like, obviously it's worlds different than what it was at this time last year, where you're wondering, if they were gonna make a shot from 3-point range at any point in January. And so I think that defensively they're basically assured of being in just about any game, even if they're maybe a teensy bit weaker than they were at that end a year ago. But offensively, they certainly have plenty of answers. I still keep coming back to the idea of, is depth going to be a little bit of an issue for them? Can they have any kind of scoring punch when look, they're going to play 18 more conference games. You know full well that either Julian Reese or Derek Queen will find themselves in foul trouble in the first half, probably in 4 or 5 of them, right?
Yep.
It's just going to work out that way. And so, do you have somebody that can put themselves in a spot where they can be a scoring complement in the front court off the bench? Do you have somebody in case foul trouble hits a Selton Miguel or a Jacoby Gillespie or a Rodney Rice that can be able to keep them situated in the backcourt? So those are real questions, but those are better questions to ask than, will these guys ever make more than 5 threes in a game?
Yeah, that's a very fair point. And obviously there's the, what happens if someone were to get hurt, which, as you go through conference play, that becomes more likely. As pleasant as Maryland has been, on the disappointment side to this point, we would probably highlight Towson. And we know they went through some injury issues, but, it's not just injuries. Their problems go deeper than that. What do you make of Towson? I know that you said, hey, the question really is, can they shoot? Can they score? Can they shoot? Can they score?
The evidence to this point says no. I know having caught their last game before their break, and they played last Sunday against Bryant and snapped a 6-game losing streak. Really one of the better games I've seen this season, and they don't play again until Thursday. They open up CAA play at Wilmington and Charleston. Nice way to really just kind of glide into conference play for them to have that road trip. But, I know that, Pat Scarry after that game was very optimistic that, but also was very capable of pointing out, got to shoot, got to be able to shoot, right? I think that there's no secret as to what ails Towson. And I do think that getting Christian May healthy, he started the season 0 of 14 or 1 of 17 from 3, and then has made a couple threes in back-to-back games. So that, I think, is a big step forward, having him healthy and having him making some shots. I think, too, having Tyler Tejada healthy, a possible conference player of the year type of guy, that's obviously a huge difference. And I think, too, the perennial question for Towson is what's the point guard situation like? I think they've seen Dylan Williamson put together some really good games, and he's put together a couple games that are pretty regrettable in there, too. And I think that him being steady and at least being a third option as a scorer is pretty important for this team. So, getting some guys back in the flow, getting healthy, all that, but it's an open question whether they can shoot enough. Otherwise, it's going to be a situation where they're just going to have to rock fight their way. And I think for Towson, as disappointing as this start was at 5-8, their goal over the next 2 months has to be make it so that you only have to win 3 games rather than 4 games in the CAA tournament. So I think the next 2 months are all about finishing in the top 4 somehow or some way in that league.
Patrick Stevens, Washington Post, Blue Ribbon, amongst other places, at Discourse, D1S Course, on Blue Sky with us here on GCR. Let's go back to some positives. I'll go to UMBC next, and I think the way you said it, when you said really like what I see from the Retrievers, you're certainly not going to suddenly sit here and say this is a team that, should be considered the favorites, but they have looked good enough that I think there's every reason to believe they can be competitive.
Yeah, and I think offensively, with as efficient as they are from three-point range, that makes them a threat to drop 90 on just about anybody. With the three-point shooting and the pace that they like to play with. They've got guys that are more than capable, whether it's Marcus Banks, he had 28 the other night. Bryce Johnson's had some big games. Now, I think Ace Valentine's the guy that makes them go at both ends, and that was something that Jim Ferry was kind of pointing out to me after the American game on Sunday, because I'm like, you guys, when he's sharp on offense, he had 9 assists. He goes, yeah, but on defense, that makes that's a big thing for making sure that they're running right too. So I really like what I see from them, and I think the schedule breaks in their favor. They don't play UMass Lowell or Bryant or Vermont, and even though Vermont's not quite vintage Vermont, we've said that before, and then they turn out to go 14-2 in the league anyway. So they play I think it's their first 5 conference games against teams other than those 3. So there is a chance that UMBC can get itself off to a pretty good start in conference play. They're 8-7 right now. They've played, I think, reasonably well since really the first, week and a half of the season. They did not play great early on, but they've kind of figured things out. And I do think that they are capable of being a team that if they're shooting right, they're going to be a really tough out in that league. And I didn't think that they were much more than maybe a 5th or 6th place team coming into the season. And right now, I think that's a team that's going to finish in the top third of that league. I think they'll nudge one of those top 3 teams out and finish in the top 3.
Staying on the pleasant side of things, they weren't able to finish off the Jim Larinaga double against George Mason on Saturday, but you can't ignore the fact that Mount St. Mary's has obviously the best non-conference win of any of the mid-majors in this area, and to the point, appears to be a little ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I mean they're 8-5 going back into Metro Atlantic play. They finished with a winning record in non-conference play for the first time in 22 years. So that by itself is absolutely a win for them. You kind of look at everything that happened with the top couple scores transferring after last season. Deshae Montgomery and Dakota LeFew as a grad transfer. So they're gone. Dallas Hobbs has been out the last 3 games. 3 or 4 games or so. He had, that's a big loss for them, and they've still just kind of plugged along. I look at them and look at their, the adjustment, right? We talked about this with Donnie Lind on the preview show a couple months back. Like to go from the NEC to the Metro Atlantic, those are bigger, more athletic dudes. And you look at their front court with J.D. Cordelia, with Terrell R. Jr., with Dola Adebayo. Those are guys that really look the part in the Metro Atlantic. And I think they have one of the better front courts in their league. The question is, can their backcourt hold up well enough? And I think some of that comes back to simply getting Hobbs back on the floor. But if they can do that, I don't see any reason why they can't be a top third or so team in the Metro Atlantic. We were talking about them, can they make that cut line in the top 10 and make the conference tournament? I'm really encouraged by what I see from them. And I think that they're a team that is certainly on the right track at this point as they head back into conference play.
Let's go to the 2 Patriot League teams. You make the argument for why, it's actually probably more positive than negative for Loyola. Not that I think that Loyola is going to be able to compete at the top of the Patriot League, but in context, I can hear that argument. Probably not a very compelling argument to be made for Navy, who, on the flip side of Mount St. Mary's, they're the only team that hasn't lost to Coppin at this point.
Well, let's start with Loyola there. They're 5-6. They won 7 games all last season. So for a team that has obvious size issues and limited front court depth, I think Josh Leffler's done a fine job of coaxing them into a roughly around 500 non-conference season. And have they beaten anybody? I mean, they won at Mount St. Mary's, which was a nice victory. I don't know if anything else is really going to pop there overall. But at the same time, they're a program that has done some nice work to this point in terms of playing together. I think there's certainly going to be some ups and downs for them. But I do think that they are in a better spot right now than they were a year ago. As for Navy, it's been kind of weird. They're having the sort of season this year that I thought they would have last year when they had so many unknowns, and you're like, well, how are they going to figure all this stuff out? And last year, they were 4-7. This year, at this point this year, they're 3-10. So there's not a massive difference other than playing a couple more games. But defensively, they have just struggled mightily. And when you think about Ed DeCella's teams, it's all this fundamental stuff: rebounds, defense, take care of the ball. I mean, I feel like I could quote it in my sleep at this point from the number of times I've heard it over the years. And they simply are not stopping people. And if you're Navy, you've got to be able to do that. They are not built to go win games in the 80s or even the high 70s. And so, I think that's the question for them as they head into Patriot League play. Could they wind up doing something similar to last year where they go 8-10 in the league? Sure, but and you look at the 6-game skid they're on right now, all those losses are by single digits. So it's not as if they're playing horribly, but they've got to defend better to have a chance to finish in the top half of their conference.
And then probably not a whole lot to be said about the MEAC team.
No, and like Morgan State, there's sort of a level of predictability there, right? They swept the 4 non-Division ones. They split 4 home games against Division I teams. They're 0-8 on the road, and so I wasn't sure they were going to be anything more than a 500 MEAC team going into the season. I'm not sure they're going to be anything more than a 500 MEAC team going into conference play.
Yeah.
And as for Coppin, it's like the same old story from last year. They had all these injuries last season, and look, they were up against it a season ago. Maybe Larry Stewart didn't burn enough sage, like we were talking about during that show, right? Like, because he has, Ryan Archie, their top returning scorer, got hurt the first week of the season. Darius Ward, who had been their leading scorer through 5 games, got hurt early on. Neither of them has played since mid-November. They're playing 7, 8-man rotations, and they obviously had to go play a pretty rigorous schedule to go pay the bills. So they're 1-13. It's basically the same spot they were in last year. They caught, a local team on a bad night. It was UMBC last year. It was Navy this year. Got them both at home. But I think especially if they can't get a few guys healthier and back into the rotation, back on the floor, it's going to be a long couple more months for Coppin this season.
All right, before we play our game, give me one kind of maybe a story that's been off the radar, like a program that maybe hasn't gotten as much attention that should be getting more of it at this point.
I would probably let's throw Drake out there. I mean, they played obviously really well in the early going, and I think everybody kind of figured that they were going to be, take a step back after losing their coach and their best player to West Virginia, and it hasn't quite worked out that way. So I think that's a really encouraging sign for them. You wanted something off the radar. I think you're giving you Missouri Valley team qualifies.
No, that absolutely qualifies. Are they still unbeaten? Wow.
I think they have 1 loss.
Okay.
I think they have 1 loss.
All right. Still, I mean, it's not bad. That's
not bad.
And they played some legit. I'm trying to remember. I remember they played.
They were in that event. I think it was it in Charleston or in Myrtle Beach? They were in one of those two.
Right. And they beat. And I know Miami probably doesn't stand up. No, they're still unbeaten. They're still 12-0. Wow.
Oh, okay.
Okay, they're 12-0. Yeah.
Somebody did get them.
Yeah, they beat Miami. They went to overtime with Kansas State, but they won that game. They beat Vanderbilt in there. Yeah, that's a really good start for them. All right, very good. All right, let's play our game. Can Patrick Stevens name the MLB teams that this player played for or managed? And we begin someone that I wasn't able to use as a player because it was only 3 teams, but add in one more. There 2 stops as a manager, 1 that was also as a player. I can't imagine you're not going to go 4 for 4 on Larry Boa.
Larry Boa was a Philly.
As both a player and a manager, of course.
And as manager. As a Cub.
Yep.
He was a Met.
Yes, he
at the
was.
Very end.
Yes, he was.
And he also managed the San Diego Padres.
He sure did. That went exactly the way that I thought it was going to go. 5-time All-Star Larry Boa. Next up, someone who perhaps has become better known for his prowess as a golfer, but a 2-time All-Star and a 3-time Silver Slugger Award winner as a pitcher. 4 teams for Rick Rhoden.
Rick Rhoden was definitely a Pirate.
Most certainly.
He was definitely a Yankee.
He was.
Was he an Astro?
He was an Astro in the end in 1989. So you've got 5 years, the beginning of his career, 74 to 78.
Was he a Cub in those years?
Oh, no, it wasn't the Cubs. Oh, you're going to kick yourself.
Oh, he was a Dodger.
He was a Dodger. Right. Yep, he was a Dodger.
He was
from
a Dodger.
74 to 78. And then a bit more recent for the last one, and it will not count his new team that he just signed with, which is, of course, the Baltimore Orioles. 2-time All-Star, 5 teams for Gary Sanchez.
5 teams for Gary Sanchez. Oh, wow. So he's definitely, obviously, a Yankee.
Yes, of course.
He was a Padre for sure.
He was, yes.
He was a Twin, am I right?
He was a Twin, 100%.
A Brewer, too,
A Brewer
right?
last year, yes. He started the 2023 season somewhere.
He started the 2023 season somewhere before going to
the Padres.
The Padres?
Yes, he was waived. I don't believe it. Yeah, and this was a 3-game stint. This was a...
Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay, all right. So I can I'm just going to go ahead and throw a dart here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just come up with something. Was he a Ranger?
Oh no, it was a New York Met for 3 games. 3 games as a New York Met. All right, what's the schedule look like for you this week, sir?
Well, I'm actually over in Fairfax right now for George Mason and Davidson tonight. We'll catch that American and Navy Patriot League opener on Thursday in Annapolis. Georgetown back in Big East play against Xavier on Friday. A DC doubleheader on Saturday. That's GW and Dayton, followed by Howard and Dell State. Sunday is still TBD, but leaning towards American and Holy Cross. And then Sunday, I think I'll be catching Coppin against South Carolina State.
Very good. At Discourse, D1S Course on Blue Sky is the place to follow him now, so get over there and check that out. Happy New Year, pal. Always appreciate you. Let's talk again next Tuesday.
Awesome, Glenn. Take care.
It's the great Patrick Stevens with us here on GCR, as he is every week. All right, come back in. I got to deal with this. I guess we just got to hash out this drinking show that is not this. What a disaster. We'll talk about it next. This is Glenn Clark Radio.
Treat yourself and taste the Baltimore tradition that is the legendary Costas Inn. Hey, it's Stan the Fan Charles. For over 50 years, the Costas Inn has been a Baltimore original, dishing out their amazingly scrumptious, fat, award-winning crab cakes and steamed crabs. Every season is crab season at Costas, so make your plans now by calling 410-477-1975 and reserve your taste of heaven. Sit back, crack some crabs, and watch the Ravens chase down another title on Costas' 15 TVs. On Monday nights, Costas offers their half-pound jumbo lump crab cake with 2 sides for under $30, and there are nightly specials Monday through Friday. So head on down to the Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard or visit them at CostasInn.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
The votes were all counted, and the results are official. Royal Farms was named #1 for food in the USA Today 10 Best poll, receiving more votes than any other convenience store chain in America. The next time you want to get some good food fast, doesn't it make sense to go to Royal Farms? Voted best in the USA and home of world-famous chicken. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and it's our very special Best of 2024 issue. On the cover, we celebrate our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year, Lamar Jackson, as Bo Smolka profiles what the quarterback means to the community beyond the football field. Also inside, we celebrate the top people, performances, and moments of the year in local sports. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always read the entire issue and find the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
All right, back in here on GCR. Did we know when we asked Jeremy about Thursday that he wasn't going to be able to participate?
I didn't know until that message that he sent.
So he said, what did he say?
He said, I can be there Thursday. Yeah.
Got the old hot tag. I heard him talking about it on my way in this morning, mentioning that he was getting a colonoscopy on Friday, and I said, that doesn't seem great for what we're doing after I had just told everybody that we're doing this. I'm not, whatever. Whatever Franken show this is on Thursday, we're going to do it. I still have 6 Zay Flowers autographed pictures that I can give to anybody who stopped. What's the address here, Griffin?
It is 8600 LaSalle Road and Suite 509. Everyone out there,
stop by on Thursday. Bring some donations.
In Towson.
Underwear, toiletries for the folks at Helping Up Mission. First 6 of you that do, you'll get an autographed Zay Flowers picture. We're clearly not doing a traditional drinking show. What do we have? Dennis is coming, correct?
Yeah, Dennis will be
Dennis
here.
Shockett's going to be here, so we'll have that. That'll be something.
Yeah, I still got some beans.
Some pizza beans.
Some pizza beans, yes.
So there's that. I'll try to make the hot pepper tomorrow.
Okay.
For no one to try. Tim
Well,
Barbalet's
I guess I'll be there.
might not be
I'll
coming, you're saying?
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Anybody else?
I so far that's my that's where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Not Drew. Is Drew stopping by?
I did message Drew. He hasn't gotten back to me yet.
Hasn't gotten back to you.
But that's not too far. Uncommon for Drew.
We need a miracle. We need what's gonna save us on Thursday? What's gonna
just me and you hanging out?
No,
and
no,
Dennis, of
that's
course.
not. Yeah, and I love Dennis.
Yeah.
I love Dennis, and that's why I feel terrible about the fact that I sound negative towards this because I would hang out with Dennis Shockett any day of the week. I could use a miracle. Who would come through for us? Who's somebody that we could have fun with? They would be festive. I got nothing. I'm scratching. I'm clawing.
You see what Rob's up to?
Rob's coaching a basketball team right now. He actually has, like, things that matter that he's got to do.
Yeah, but he does so much. He's probably got time.
Yeah, I'm sure. What the hell else is going on right now? Boy, we really nailed this one. Look, man, I get it. This all, I'd say, starts with me. It really started with Jeremy. Jeremy screwed this all up to begin with. He's the one that let us down the most. Because I would have just dealt with it. I would have just figured out a way and dealt with it. I was thinking about that in hindsight. I could have just stuffed the kids in John's office last Friday or last Monday. Just said, you're in there, giving them a pad of some sort. But then if I got drunk, then my kids were there. That would have been. No,
but they would have been locked in, you know.
Couldn't have done it. It's not really going to be a drinking show. Let's just call it like what it is. It's not really going to be a drinking show. I don't know what it'll be.
It's a holiday special with some drinking and some
kinda. It's not even but it's not even the holidays. It's January 2nd.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the what holiday
it's
is
still
that?
Like only 8 days removed from
8 days removed
it'll be
from the
final
holiday.
Night of wait, what's it? Tonight's the 6th.
Does Hanukkah go beyond a week?
Well, 8 nights, yeah. So.
8 crazy nights. That's a good point. Yeah.
So.
All right, so it's the last night of Hanukkah. I just really wanted this to be a thing, man. Just please, somebody stop by on Thursday with some donations so that I feel like we did something here.
It will.
I can't save this. It's beyond saving. That's what's happened here. I can't save it. And it was very much a ready, fire, aim situation the entire time. So I got nothing else. Who else is fun?
We can't have Jeremy just like force feed you stuff.
No. What? What does that even mean?
Drinks and
no.
other whatever.
No.
Pizza beans.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the only one sitting here. Everybody else is gonna be like staring at. No.
I mean, I guess I can participate. I guess I'll just have to hang out the rest of the day.
Okay. Spoon on the couch. The idea is that it's special. It's different. It's fun. It's make some memories. We don't even have. What memories are we making? Hurt.
Being around everyone.
I'm hurt. Whatever. We'll survive. I'm sad. I can't hide from it.
It's about being
sad.
Together. It's about being together.
I'm sad. I need you to delicately ask him if he can try things and spit them out. That's what they do on the food shows. Like that's what old Guy Fieri, when he's not eating the entire people bring him 3 meals. He's not eating 3 meals. He's taking a bite, then the camera cuts. He spits it out. Oh. That's the way it works on those food shows.
I don't know that.
Did you really not know that?
I don't watch a whole lot of food shows, but
you think that these people just eat?
Well, I thought maybe you eat a couple bites or something, and then you move on to the next thing.
No, they try it and they spit it out.
How can you even know?
You can know what it tastes like.
Nah, that's not the real thing.
I need you to delicately ask that question. I need you to get the answer so that I don't try to force that upon him on Thursday. Like, I need the answer to at least the pizza beans and the hot Dr. Pepper. Because am I making this hot Dr. Pepper for... What is the point of any of this? Do the colonoscopy on the show. That's what you know what? He wants to get out of it. Do the colonoscopy on the show. Let us get a live view of the camera as it goes into him. Oh, that's what I want.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I guess that would work.
Leah's going to have to save the drinking show. That's really what this is going to have to be. She's going to have to be the MVP. She's going to have to be the MVP. I was told there was going to be a quiz. Who's going to even be on the teams? That's the idea of having the quiz, is that we have teams. Right. You don't get it. You don't get it. It's supposed to be special.
Guess you're right.
Drinking shows are supposed to mean something. It's supposed to be the magic of the holiday season. Anything could happen. You could walk in and there could be a cameo from Tom Hanks. That's the idea. Have you even reached out to Tom Hanks?
Not yet.
It's like we're not even trying.
I guess so. So, yeah. All right. I'm sorry.
It's like we don't even want it. Who else could there be a cameo from? Who do you have lined up? There's supposed to be a surprise walk-in during a holiday special, Griffin. There's supposed to be, you turn around and you say, oh, holy who's there?
Maybe John Coulson,
No,
maybe?
that does not qualify. It'd be somebody that would be excited to see. No disrespect to John Coulson. He works here. Although I haven't seen him in a while. But, like, that doesn't work that way. It's got to be somebody that you'd be excited to see. Like, wow, I didn't think this person was showing up today. Why are they here? Sad. I'm doing a big push, as you can tell. I'm really excited. Very excited for. Somebody's going to say, oh, this is the way it goes. You're in your 40s now. I don't care. Just want one thing. It's it. Come by on Thursday.
Should we?
I know I've done the big push for this. Come by on Thursday. Bring some donations. We'll give you. That'll be the Christmas miracle. That'll be it. I got 6 Zay Flowers autographed pictures left. First 6 of you that show up on Thursday. With donations, you get them. Nobody's showing up. Who am I kidding?
No. People will show up, probably.
Angry.
8600 LaSalle Road.
It's not even worth doing it.
Suite 509.
Just cancel it again. Just cancel it again.
I don't know if I have another cancellation in me.
Just cancel it again.
I'm just gonna ghost everyone then. I'm just not.
No, you're not gonna ghost everyone.
Whatever
you're not
happens,
gonna do that.
happens.
Just cancel it again. No.
For a 5th time.
Not 5th.
It feels like it's been 10.
It's not been even 5. It's not been that many. It's been more than I like though. It says they can do a drinking show and they say they can't drink. Who does that? How did you ask the question? I want to know. I want to know.
All right, hold on.
I want to know who to be mad at.
I mean, go ahead. Be mad at me.
No, I want to know.
Why
no,
not?
No. If I should be mad at you, then I'll be mad at you.
So it looks like the drinking show is cursed. Glenn got COVID over the weekend. Still has symptoms, so we're not going to be able to do the show Monday. Is there the very last day we're going to try to reschedule for is Thursday? Is there any chance you're free Thursday this week?
Just call him. Call him.
Just call him right now.
Call him real quick.
Okay. Should I
call him real quick. Just call him.
Call him on this phone?
Yeah, on that phone. Call him. I'm going to deal with him. I'm going to deal with him.
You mean to plug it in so we get that the cool sound effect of the phone ringing?
Yeah, do that. God.
And then he doesn't answer. It's very possible he does have something going on today.
Oh, what does he have going on?
I don't know. He's got doctor's appointments or
can't
something. He's getting a colonoscopy this week.
Shoving tubes up his butt. Picked up the print issue of Press Box yet. It's our best of issue. This segment probably won't make it to the list. Go get it right now at your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box.
I did shoot him a follow-up. I said Tuesday is out, right?
PressBoxOnline.com/bestof.
And he said, yeah, I can't do Tuesday, so I'm not sure what Tuesday, because today's Tuesday. I'm not sure what he has today.
Now he's dodging us. He knows.
Jeremy Kahn.
Hey, Jeremy.
No, hang up. Hang up.
You don't want to leave him a
hang up. Think about pleasant things. I'm going to Chipperelli's tonight. I got that going for me.
Sounds fun. We got Alabama, Michigan today. That should be.
I don't care about.
Should be a blowout.
Is Jalen Milroe playing?
He is. Yeah.
Why?
because he likes football. I think.
Is the word that he might still come back for another year?
I believe I saw that as well.
Okay. All right.
I think this will be. I think this is going to be in Alabama. This will be a Michigan bloodbath. I should phrase it because a lot of revenge on the Alabama side, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And Kalen DeBoer obviously also lost to Michigan last year.
Good point.
Jalen Milroe. And
You're not going to sell me on this. I don't
and the
care.
Tide also.
We'll come back in and put the sad final touches on this show.
Why is today's show got to be sad? If Thursday's show is going to be sad, why can't we try to have like a pleasant end to 2024?
Just not meant to have nice things.
I mean, with that attitude, how could we?
Tell me something to be excited about.
Alabama, Michigan.
No, something actually to be excited about.
The Fiesta Bowl.
What do I get at?
You want to watch
Boise State? If they pull out, they do Statue of Liberty and hook and lateral. Then we're all in.
You want to watch 2006 Fiesta Bowl highlights?
I would like to do that. Yes, that would make me feel something again.
When we come back, that's what we'll do.
Glenn Clark Radio.
COVID-19 and flu viruses are circulating in Maryland. But don't worry. Protection is within arm's reach. Protect your health with this year's COVID-19 and flu shots. It's safe and convenient to get them both at the same time. Flex your protection. For more information, visit health.maryland.gov/vaccines.
This message paid for by the Maryland Department of Health.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
The ultimate fan experience awaits you at Sports and Social Maryland. See how we're raising the sports bar with our massive 100-foot media wall featuring 40 HD TVs and a 47-foot big screen. Bet on your favorite teams and this year's biggest events at the FanDuel Sportsbook while enjoying your favorite beers and cocktails, plus our delicious takes on bar food classics. Visit Sports and Social at Live Casino in Hotel Maryland, at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your EasyPass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your EasyPass account. There, you just saved money with EasyPass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your EasyPass at DriveEasyMD.com.
The votes were all counted, and the results are official. Royal Farms was named #1 for food in the USA Today 10 Best poll, receiving more votes than any other convenience store chain in America. The next time you want to get some good food fast, doesn't it make sense to go to Royal Farms? Voted best in the USA and home of world-famous chicken. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we are winding down for a Tuesday edition of the program. Yeah, it was a depressing segment. I'm sorry. I really want something special. Somebody's going to claim that I'm like Charlie Brown, like that I just get visions of grandeur for the holidays, and it's just not the way that it goes. Like I just want so much. Or I'm Clark Griswold, right? Like I want it to be perfect. It just can't be perfect. I'm sad. I'm sad about that. That's the way that it goes. Now, again, I guess it's my fault that I got COVID. I don't know. Whatever. We'll be here. We'll be here. We will do some sort of show. What exactly it is, I don't know. We will do some form of fashion show on Thursday with whoever's here, and we'll have fun. Yay. It'll be one of those deals, but God, man.
I'm not good at typing on this thing. I was trying to get up the...
Just wanted to put the Boise State highlights on the screen to try to lift my spirit.
Yeah, I was trying to. And then a dog walked in here, got distracted.
It is an adorable dog.
Yeah.
Like, that is part of the thing. It is an adorable dog. I'm so excited. I just want to cancel now. I just want to cancel it.
Come on.
I just want to cancel it. What are we doing? I just want to cancel. I want to be special.
There we go. That's what we want.
I was going to try to lift my
There we
spirits.
go. This is what
by
we want
looking at-
here. We want.
Well, I can't watch a 20-minute video.
What do you mean? Where do you have to be?
We got a show to do.
There should be a shorter highlight somewhere, right? Is
There's
that
a
it?
4-minute, 12
There's
second.
How about the 22-minute long one?
No. Go back to the left. That one.
Oh, that was it.
4 minutes
That's
and
the
12
ending.
seconds.
I
But
don't
it's
want-
all of
we got to
the-
get the whole.
No, I bet it's going to
Look at
have
the boy.
all of the. Yeah, I do. Well, except this is the
yeah,
right
hopefully.
one. No, that's my guy. No. If you get that guy on the show on Thursday, all's forgiven. All right. If that guy shows up on this show on Thursday, I take it all back, and I mean that. Take it all back. No.
Love that guy. There he is.
Love that guy. That's my guy. Where was this? Oh, this is when it's still 28-28. Yeah. Oh, it was all
Oh my
over.
gosh, threw an interception?
Disastrous pick six.
Yikes.
That was Jared Zabransky, of course, the quarterback for Boise State at the time. Throws a disastrous pick six with 1:02 left. And damn it, Oklahoma's going to win. It's just
Good for Oklahoma. Good season. Right?
It was fun. I don't know. There's still 1:02 left.
Adrian Peterson.
Who knows? I guess crazy
Back when
things
it
could
was the
happen.
Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
This is on Fox, too. It wasn't on ESPN or ABC at that point. Fox had no college
Why is that guy wearing Ashton
Fox,
Jennings' number?
by the way, at this point, had no college football all year long. They didn't air
Really?
a game. They didn't air a game, and then they covered this. So then here we go, 4th down.
Nice. Good
All right.
completion. Oh, they don't
Big
wanna turn.
gainer. Big gainer. 40 seconds left. They're into Oklahoma territory. It's not over. It's not over. But, oh,
Now
no,
it's over. Now
Zabransky
it's
gets
over.
sacked
They have
at
no timeouts,
midfield.
right? Yeah.
30 seconds left.
Oh, they did. They must have had a time.
2nd and 18. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Air it out.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Incomplete. Incomplete on the sideline. 23 seconds left. Oh, boy. Game's probably over. I don't know. Maybe it'll work. Nope. Incomplete. All right. 4th and
Jeez.
18.
Should we just turn this off?
4th and 18. 18 seconds left. The game is over. It was fun while it lasted. We all had a good time. But it's just not meant to be. That's not even going to make the sticks. That's Oh, my God! Oh, my God! Oh, what? I don't know if they can cut to me. I was actually sitting in the stands. I wasn't in the press box for this game. I was in the upper deck.
What if they did cut to you? They just cut right to you.
Yeah, I don't think they ever cut to me because I don't think they ever cut to the upper deck of
Wow, I didn't
State
see that
Farm
coming.
or- It wasn't called that. What was it called at the time? It was called University of Phoenix Stadium, I want to say. This is the first year the stadium was open.
Wow.
This is the first
Left
year
footed
of the stadium.
kicker, too. Jeez.
Yep. So miracle, hook and lateral, touchdown. Game's going to overtime, 35-35. Well, they got to get through the
Yeah, a little pooch kick
little
here.
Pooch kick. But no, this game's going to overtime. All's good.
Tom
Now
Brennan.
Boise State's got all the momentum. Now they got what could go wrong? All of the momentum is on Boise State. First play from scrimmage. We'll hand it off to Adrian Peterson. And oh my God, no!
Did he win Heisman? Who won the Heisman? last
No.
year?
No. Adrian Peterson runs it in for a touchdown. All the momentum's gone. All the momentum's gone. Oklahoma's
They get a
back up
chance.
42-35. Just forget it. It was fun while it lasted, but now it's over. First play from
Ooh.
scrimmage. What is this? Some
Ew.
trickeration? It didn't get him any yards. Got him nothing. 2nd and 10. What are we doing? Boise State, they've run out of magic. Well, let's try throwing this throwback play. There's a little something there.
Kind of like a screen-ish.
Yeah, 3 yards.
Looks
3rd
like
and
How
7.
the Ravens used to run screens.
What do you got? Zabransky, middle of the field. Oh, there. Okay, first down. A little bit of life.
So you thought the game was over? Were people heading to the
There were a lot of people that had left. There were. I don't want to say a lot. There were at least a handful.
a little counter there?
Little
Right,
counter,
I'm not sure if
yeah,
that
but
was
nothing doing.
supposed to happen.
I believe their back's name was Ian Johnson, if I remember correctly, who proposed to his girlfriend afterwards. Let's plunge forward all the way inside the 5. All right, something going on here. 3rd and 1. What do you got? Oh no, is that Jeremy?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, tell him we'll talk to him. Now he's gonna be sad again. 3rd and 1, stuffed. 4th and 1. 4th and 1. Knees down. It's 4th and 2. Game's over. Wait, what the hell is this? What? What is that?
91?
What is
91
that?
scored the touchdown?
Now we'll go for 2 in the win.
Oh, wow.
Statue of Liberty! Statue of Liberty!
What a great play.
Boise State stuns Oklahoma. The greatest football game of all time.
What if we just watch that game?
God, if I could just watch that and Vince Young in the Rose Bowl for the rest of my life, I would have joy. In fact, we could just do this as the show. All right, Jeremy, I love you. I need you to know that. You know I love you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know I love you. You know I love you. Can you at least, like, try some things and spit them out on Thursday? Is that an option?
I don't think so. I was just told I have my colonoscopy on Friday, and I don't know if it's because I have diverticulitis or what, but like I feel like this has been way more extensive than my other one. Like I had to start taking Miralax.
Also, I'm not really sure that the other person that gave you a colonoscopy was a doctor. I'm not certain that was.
So you mean my Uncle Fred? Just because he didn't go to medical school, he can't check my ass?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure that's the case. No, but what I'm saying is, I will accept that you can't. I just want to. I want to. This has been the cursed show. This show is cursed.
It feels like it has been because every single time we try to do something comes up.
But I was
hell bent on my end, and everybody else.
I was hell bent on pulling it back together. I was like, look, we're not giving up on this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy. We're pulling it back together. Griffin said, "Yep, we're good." And then it was very deflating when I got your text. I was very deflated. It was it was deflating text. So
there's nothing I can do about it, though.
I'm not. I said I loved you. You understand that? I love you, right?
Yeah,
like I started
but you're still disappointed. That hurts worse.
Oh,
you know that.
I am. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Dude, this effing sucks because I'm sitting here thinking about it because like again when Griffin's like, hey, do you have anything on Thursday? I'm like, no, man. I finally have a free day, and then I know my colonoscopy's on Friday. I'm like, oh hell, the prep, and it's like so effing extensive. I got to drink 4 liters of whatever the hell that stuff is.
I got a lot of questions about that. That seems like, are you not eating all week?
No, I'm eating, but like there's certain foods that I have to stay away from, it's fine because it's stuff I have to stay away from because of my diverticulitis, like nuts and corn and all that.
I can't imagine pizza beans are on that list. They've got to be very high on the list for people with diverticulitis.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I don't think is Malort on that list. I don't know if I can have that or not. But again, it's just every time I think about things, like I have therapy every Tuesday and Friday, right? So we scheduled that, we changed that. Then the one Monday was good to go, and then all of a sudden it's like I don't have a car, and then somebody comes down with. Was it COVID in your house?
No, I got COVID. I got COVID. That happened. Okay. Yeah, that was a thing in my life. I had it. I don't know
Fun
what
times.
I'm doing here. What is that? Is that something I'm excited about? I'm looking for anything that'll give me. Oh, is that your Christmas present? It might be your Christmas present.
Well,
yeah.
I'm confused because I was like, I don't think I ordered
anything. All right. To be determined. I can't promise whether we're doing this on Thursday or not. I'm in a deflated place, and I don't want people to be let down by it. I hate the fact that I keep announcing it and then canceling it. Maybe we'll just move it to a different time of the year. That's what John Colson wanted me to do. He wanted me to do it in like July. I was like,
because the holidays are tough.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, like we've been fine every year. I just feel like this is that one year. Like I have so much crap on my schedule, and the fact that I'm playing car roulette with my son, which that changes next week when I get to drive to North Carolina and pick him up a vehicle. So,
why do you have to go to North Carolina to get him a car?
Best cars in the world, North Carolina.
Because my dad gave me a car. He gave me his old Kia that I'm going to give to my son.
All right.
But he lives in North Carolina. So it's gonna be fun.
You'll get a text later today. I'll give you an answer.
Okay.
I love you.
All right.
I love you.
Cool, man. I'll see you.
Didn't lift my spirits at all. As it turns out, we should have just stuck with the Boise State football thing. That was going well. That was going so well. Reliving Boise State versus God. Oh my God. We lost our minds. Everybody was going crazy. For like 2 weeks, it didn't matter what guest we had on. I wasn't even doing a sports show back then. I was doing the Hot Talk show with Big O and Dukes.
Hot Talk.
And like, no matter who the guest was on the show, we were like, "Hey, did you watch that Fiesta Bowl?" Then we could bring somebody on to talk video games. Be like, "Did you watch that Fiesta Bowl?" Oh hell yeah, man! For like 2 weeks.
What kind of people talked video games in 2006?
Everybody talked video in 2006.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I'm trying to figure out. You had like dedicated.
Oh yeah,
video
we
game
had
people?
like there were CNET or websites like that where we would like have different. Like, let's talk about the new games that are coming out this week and stuff like that. We would do that. We would do tech segments. We would do We did all sorts of different S back then. Like we were doing guy talk.
So it was Ian Johnson.
Yeah, I loved Ian Johnson.
Why is this in like
I don't know.
220p?
That's not the same thing that we were watching. This is something
This is
else.
a different game?
Yes, I don't know. Well, I don't know what it is.
Is this the full game?
Maybe. Who knows? You want to just go ahead and open that? You can open that
This
now.
is the full game right here.
We're not going to watch the whole game. Go ahead.
I forgot. I almost forgot that I had your gift too.
Oh, well, that's nice. That's nice. All right. Well, there we go. All right. Very good. Since I don't know that we're doing the drinking show now.
Well, I was confused at first because it said 3600 LaSalle Road on it.
Does it?
Yeah, but they somehow found it. So.
Huh.
I don't know how. Yeah.
I don't know what we got here.
All right, here we go.
What's this? What's this now?
I think you should love it.
What's this now? This is a Funko Pop.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh man, I like mine.
What is? God. Oh, it's Chris. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Lunch Lady
Yeah.
Chris Farley.
Yeah,
That's
Lunch
great.
Lady
That's
Chris
great.
Farley for you.
I love that. How can we display it?
And
in
I know
here
you love
somewhere?
Funko Pops. So.
Yeah, you know, I'm a big Funko Pop guy.
I know. I was trying to figure out how.
Counting this one, I have one. But no, I love that. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I just don't know where to put it.
I was trying to think about
on the screen somewhere in here.
If
Maybe we can
just
move
have it always
something
sitting
off
next
the
to you.
back there behind you. I don't know.
Move. Not the Whip Snakes hat, but one of those.
One or
things
the other.
we
The
can
coming. Oh, I don't want to move the coming.
I guess we've moved past the.
I think we're past the
mealworms.
Yeah, and the Bean Boozle beans.
Yeah.
I think they're no longer part of a canon here on this show.
And then here's mine.
Yeah.
I mean, how'd you know?
That's exactly. I saw your list. There it is.
It's a great one.
Scott Stapp at the Thanksgiving halftime show in Dallas.
This is maybe my new Thanksgiving shirt.
I
Probably.
don't
guess
know
once a week.
How would you wear it? How would you wear anything else on Thanksgiving and have any respect for yourself? How could you possibly wear anything else?
Well,
you know what the bummer was? You really screwed up not getting the jersey. You can't get the jersey online.
Did I really screw up?
No, you did. How do you not get that jersey? I tried.
Well, it's pretty simple. I walk past it a few times.
I don't
need that.
All you'd be allowed to do is like personalize a cowboy. Like you can't just get like a Creed, you know, like what they were selling at the. Yeah, you can't do that. So I had to settle for the T-shirt. That was because
Charles Davis was calling it.
Charles Davis was calling that game 100%. I remember it well. All right, very good. Well, that's something. That was pleasant. I did appreciate that.
I can't believe I almost forgot. Well, we were so melancholy during that segment.
Something
I forgot I had that
very
in my backpack.
melancholy. We're gonna have to cancel it again. We're gonna have to do it. It's just not gonna be. We can come up with a better excuse. How do we lie to people? What's a better excuse than just me being depressed?
Your dog died.
Jeremy can't drink, and so it's just not worth doing.
Your dog died.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
We're coming up with
Let's not do that.
Open.
Let's not do that. Well, you know what? I think I got something.
Okay.
The truth is, this is the part that I can't say out loud. I wasn't really going to be able to get drunk on Thursday. It's the part that I can't say.
Different than any other day. You can get drunk.
No, I'll tell you. I don't want to talk about it on the air.
Okay. All right.
I don't want to talk about it on the air. I wasn't really. I was going to like ham it up. And, like, you know, pretend like I was drunker than I was. Like, I was going to do all that.
Sure.
And, no, I didn't have the option to get drunk on Thursday. This is sad. I'm a sad person. Let's do a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. What's going on at Live Casino and Hotel?
It is. Every time over at Live Casino and Hotel, every time that Baltimore's football team or Washington's football
pull up
team
Vince Young's Rose Bowl highlights. Maybe
score a touchdown during their home games this season, Baltimore and Washington. Live Rewards members are getting $7 in free slot play. You have to have your Live Rewards card inserted into
that's a good point.
Slot machine.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Be actively playing, Glenn. Be actively playing while you were while playing slots, and once those touchdowns score for Baltimore and Washington during their home games this season, again, Baltimore home on Saturday, $7 in free slot play. At Ronald Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. Does the voice on this work? That would be nice.
I don't know. How would I know the answer to that? John in Little Rock points out that we still haven't done the Mayo Dogs with Jeremy either.
Oh.
All right, let's just.
All right, let's focus on Vince Young highlights.
How about like before the Super Bowl?
Okay.
How about something along those lines?
Assuming he passes his colonoscopy.
Yeah, let's work on that, and maybe we'll try to do like a different type of drinking show. Talk to all the parties involved. This sucks. I'm sorry. This sucks. It's kind of my fault. It's kind of Jeremy's fault. It's kind of nobody's fault because nobody wanted to get COVID or anything like that, diverticulitis. But I want to do a fun thing.
Didn't pick up most of what I said.
Oh, he ended up with you're searching for
Vince
my
Young,
fault's
Rose Bowl
Vince Young,
toilets.
Rose Boy toilets. Nobody want to get COVID. It's the name of my album. All right, what do you have for tidbits?
Let's go. Where do I have for tidbit here? Yesterday it was a big triple-double day across all of basketball. 7 triple-doubles, most triple-doubles across any day this century in the NBA, WNBA, and Division I men's and women's basketball as well. We had 7 triple-doubles. Jada Burton from Vermont women's basketball, triple-double. Avery Biddingham and Coy Love from UT Arlington, both triple-doubles, both UT Arlington Mavs. They both dropped a triple-double. Dylan Harper from Rutgers, triple-double. Of course, the triple-double Kings for the Nuggets were in action, so that meant Jokic and Russell Westbrook both had triple-doubles.
See, D'Angelo Russell got traded?
I did see that, yeah. That is something that happened.
I did not know.
Do you want to play the game? How many teams did D'Angelo Russell play for?
Christ, not a chance. The Lakers.
Josh Hart was the 7th player to record
How about that? The Lakers, the Warriors, the Nets.
Mm-hmm. Lakers, Warriors, Nets. How many teams has
Who traded for him? That's the other part I don't realize. Who traded for him? The Timberwolves, right? Wasn't he a Timberwolves?
Actually, yeah, it's a trick question. You already got it because he started with the Lakers, then went to the Nets.
Okay.
Then he went to the Warriors, the Timberwolves for a few seasons. That was his longest stint anywhere. And then he went back to the Lakers.
Oh, okay.
And then they just traded him back to the Nets.
Who
so
knew?
He's only played for 4 teams.
I got to be honest with you. I did not know either side of the trade. I just saw that he got traded. That's the only part that I saw. Anyway, sorry.
So
go ahead.
That wasn't a good one. He's only played for 4 teams. But yeah, 7 triple doubles yesterday. Kind of crazy. The Super Bowl is set. Unfortunately, the Ravens are not going to be in it.
What?
Yeah. This is only the 4th season that there has been a 14-win team from each conference. So when you have a 14-win team in each conference, they've met in the Super Bowl.
Oh, how about that?
So in 1984.
Okay, but in fairness, there also weren't 17-game seasons.
Well, there's going to be 14-win teams.
True, through 16 games. That's a good point.
Games,
all right,
so it doesn't matter.
All right.
84 was the Niners over Miami. 1998 was the next instance where the Broncos beat the Falcons, and then 2022 was the Chiefs and the Eagles. So we know it's going to be the Chiefs again in the Super Bowl, unfortunately. And they will be playing
real bummer, man.
Those NFC North teams.
It's a real bummer.
So I guess no point in really watching.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know. I should have left that one on the bench, knowing how down the end of the show was ending up being. The Lions, they become the first team in NFL history. This is their 5th game of the season where they scored 40 points and had 0 turnovers. 5th time of this season. No other team has ever done that in a single season. 5 times 40 points and no turnovers. Lamar looks to join a pretty solid company here. He is going to be the it looks like he'll be just the 3rd player to have at least 30 passing touchdowns and an interception percentage below 1%. Right now, his interception percentage is just 0.9. 2 other players have done that in NFL history. 30 passing touchdowns, interception rate below a singular percent.
I don't know. It's a very random statistic. Why would I?
Both
know
on
that?
this side of the millennium.
Brady.
Brady. In what year?
Sure.
36-4 in 2000.
Let's just say it.
10.
God, you want to watch football?
I do want to watch football.
Mahomes.
Not Mahomes.
Manning.
Not Manningus.
Warner.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, we know it's not like Roethlisberger because he liked to throw the ball to the other team. Andrew Luck.
Not Andrew Luck. He was the 2021 MVP.
2021 MVP.
Oh my God, Michigan's already up.
Was that Stafford?
It was not Stafford.
Who the hell was MVP that year?
Did Stafford ever win MVP?
It's a good question.
I don't think he did.
Did Stafford ever win MVP? Who the hell was MVP in 2021?
I believe this was...
Oh, was it Rodgers?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the second of his back-to-back run there.
Yeah.
37-4 and 36-4 for Brady. Lamar is up to 39-4. All
right.
39 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and they both did win MVP those years. those respective years. So,
all right, how about that?
I did have another one. I guess we could say it. I don't know. Saquon becomes the 9th man to reach
the 2000
club. Yes, the 2000 club.
So obviously Eric Dickerson, Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Lewis, yes.
There's somebody else because there's somebody that got between mother F. Peterson.
Yep, AP.
Peterson
AP in 2012.
Well, we know Chris Johnson because CJ2K.
Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry
did it
in 2020. Wait, so does that count?
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. It didn't happen.
So sorry. Eight men have ever done this.
OJ.
OJ
was the first, right?
Yeah, 1973. Yeah, would be the first time.
And I've seen this list recently, and I'm pretty sure they were both prominent. They were both like Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders.
Not Walter Payton. Not Walter Payton.
Not Walter Payton. Yeah, not Hall of Fame worthy. That
not
guy.
LaDainian Tomlinson either, right?
Not LT.
Terrell Davis.
Yes,
Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis. There you go. And that's the 9. That is the 9 in the 2000.
Last night trivia was like a rehash of 2024. And not a lot. One of the questions was so effing bizarre. It was like this woman won a gold medal in something, and she was only the 3rd person to ever win a gold medal in this country for her country, and the first woman to ever win a gold medal for her country. And I was like, what? It was Chile. Who knew? Not.
You had to get the country.
Yeah, to get the country.
No, anyone get that?
I think somebody did. That's the crazy. But they said it was a South American country, so you
okay.
like just everybody was guessing,
like
and I was guessing like Guyana, like some they were small. One of the rounds was name the champions of these leagues from 2024: baseball, hockey, NBA, MLS, NASCAR. Amazingly, I went 5 for 5.
Wow.
Amazingly. And in fairness, I knew MLS. I did not know NASCAR. I was just guessing.
All right, so it was baseball, hockey,
yeah,
NBA.
MLB, NBA, NHL.
Okay, so it was the Dodgers,
Yes.
the Florida Panthers.
Yes.
The Boston Celtics.
Yes.
The other two, it was MLS.
And
NASCAR.
And NASCAR.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So NASCAR, it's a man, right? It'd be a guy's name.
Yes. That's correct.
That's how NASCAR works?
That's how NASCAR works.
Let's go with all right, man. I'm gonna get both of these wrong. What MLS? If I were an MLS team, let's go with Messi didn't win it. Let's go with the. Is this a team? The Chicago Fire? Is that a team?
It is a team.
They didn't win it though. Chicago Fire.
No, they did not win it.
Were they close?
I'll give you 5 guesses. See if you come up with it.
I don't think it was the Columbus Crew. I don't think they were good enough. Does Minnesota have a team? I feel like it might have been Minnesota. Let's go Minnesota.
Minnesota what?
Do I have to get that? I don't know what they are. The Minnesota Trees?
It's the Minnesota United, and they did not win.
Right.
No.
I should have said United. I should have known it was MU. The Seattle Timbers.
There's no Seattle Timbers.
What are they?
There's the Seattle Sounders.
And
there's the Portland Timbers.
Oh, the Portland Timbers. That only counts as one guess.
Which one?
Neither of them. Because it was the LA Galaxy.
It was actually the LA Galaxy.
Yeah. See?
Great.
It was a little red herring I gave there.
Great call.
LA Galaxy.
Great call.
All right, cool.
On your
4.
3rd or 8th guess, you got.
It's definitely less than 5. All right,
LA
so 4
Galaxy.
for 4.
Christ.
And then Brad Keselowski.
That I don't know if I assume he's still an active driver.
It wasn't him.
I only knew I could only come up with 4 active drivers.
And you got what? You got
And
that one?
I got one. Yep.
How on earth?
By the way, the only reason I remembered the LA Galaxy is because it was the Galaxy versus the Red Bulls, and there was a New York LA thing like the World Series was, and so people were talking about that. It's the only reason that came back to me. At first, I was like, I don't remember, and then it got there.
I don't know if I can name another driver.
Name any other driver. Life on the line.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Wasn't Junior.
No. No, he doesn't drive anymore.
Yeah, I know. Well, but he is a driver. Myself, I drive cars.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Glenn Clark, he drives cars.
No, did not.
Let's see.
His first name starts with a J.
J.
John, no.
Joey
Joey
Logano.
Joey Logano.
What's Joey Logano?
Joey Logano.
Knew it.
Yeah, nailed it.
5 for 5.
Second place for your boys again last night. Second place.
But you would have needed me for the Dodgers. And
That's a great point. Couldn't have
Celtics
gotten that without you. That's a great point. All right, let's get tubular.
Okay.
We're going to watch football. What happened to that? Oh, Alabama's in trouble. Oh, they're down 3-0 early. Oh, the weather sucks. Griffins.
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
All right, yeah, Indiana, Michigan right now on ESPN in the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Indiana, Michigan?
Did I say Indiana?
You did say
It does say it says Indiana on here. I don't know why it says Indiana on here. What the hell happened there? Who prepared this nonsense? It's definitely Alabama, Michigan. Everybody knows that because it's the heralded ReliaQuest Bowl. It's the most important game of the year. And
right, the weather is not great.
It's not great.
Come on, Bama.
Michigan's about to extend their lead to 6-0. Oh boy, Griffin's getting nervous.
I am nervous.
Texas Bowl, Baylor, LSU at 3:30 on ESPN. The College Football Playoff Quarterfinal, Fiesta Bowl, Penn State, Boise State, 7:30 on ESPN. There's also a mega cast on all the other ESPN networks. ABC has the Citrus Bowl, South Carolina and Illinois at 3. CBS has the Sun Bowl, Louisville and Washington at 2. The NHL Winter Classic, for some reason, is not on New Year's Day. Why? I don't know. It's today.
Compete with the CFP? Or?
I guess, but, do you think people are going to find this at 5 o'clock today? No. Blues Blackhawks from Wrigley Field today at 5 o'clock.
LSU, obviously.
That's probably the case. Monumental for Bruins Capitals at 12:30. So that starts in just a couple minutes. Bunch of college hoops today, all over the place. I'm not going to go. Nobody local, so just go find it at glennclarkradio.com. NBA TV, T-Wolves Thunder at 8. CW for WWE NXT tonight at 8 as well. Non-sports?
Yeah, there are some non-sports. Of course, you got Dick Clark's New Year's Eve party. That is on ABC. Well, with Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, he's definitely not available for the assignment.
Nashville's doing their thing, New Year's Eve Live, the Nashville Big Bash, hosted by Keith Urban.
Yeah.
That one's on CBS. And, of course, Anderson Cooper and Eric Cohen will be doing their thing. A new episode of Hard Knocks for the AFC North. New episode of Skeleton Crew, the Star Wars show on Disney+. And then on Netflix, a couple of Avicii documentaries.
Okay.
Which they look pretty good.
Right.
After
Avicii was So Wake Me Up When It's All Over. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, very good.
He's it looked pretty good.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna be off tomorrow for New Year. We're not doing the drinking show on Thursday.
Okay.
We're not. It's just we can't pull it off. If you want to do something with the pizza beans, I tell you what, bring them in on Thursday.
Yeah.
We'll do something with them. I'll talk to Proctor. If he can proctor a quiz, you versus me.
Oh God.
Then the loser has to eat the pizza beans.
Oh man, I'm gonna
want
to eat these pizza. You're gonna beat me.
All right. Well, I'll try them. Obviously, I'm not gonna not try them. We'll do something with the pizza beans since you made them. But
okay.
We're bagging the drinking show again, and it's kind of I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
It's just what it is. We'll do it at some point. We'll do it.
Got it.
Thanks today. What are we doing? Oh, thanks today.
Yeah.
Do we say what's coming up? I thank everybody today
Yeah,
first.
thank you.
Chris Broussard, Mike Florio, KZ, Patrick Stevens. We'll get all of it up in the greatest hits section of the.
Can you take me higher?
I really would like it if you wore that out in public. I really like that. I would really like if I saw you out of the club, rocking your Scott Staff Thanksgiving T-shirt. God, that's a great shirt. What a great shirt that is.
It is a pretty nice
What
shirt.
a great shirt that is. All right. So yeah, Thursday we'll do a normal show
You're
then.
not gonna see many of these out there.
Right, that's a great point. You're not going to see many of those out there. So you got to tell everybody, like Ken was going to come by. You got to tell him, don't bother.
All right.
Don't bother. Look, if you guys come by still, I'll hook you up with one of these. I'm sorry. It's what it is. Long story. Anyway, we'll do that. And Zion Ely is going to join us on Thursday.
Yes.
That was going to happen one way or the other. Of course, St. Francis, 5-star.
He's not drinking with us.
No, definitely not. He's part of the Under Armour All-American game down in Orlando on Thursday, and he's going to check in with us before the game, which is cool. He committed to Maryland, and everybody thinks, that won't last. Well, he says he's sticking it out. So we're going to catch up with him and Stuff and Things now for Thursday.
Stuff and Things.
It's just what it is. Thanks, everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Visit Hartford, Live Casino and Hotel, Cruise Maryland, Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Royal Farms, as well as HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, the Costas Inn, MSAA, Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Tuesday night. Be safe tonight. Do not drink and drive. Please, I beg of you. Happy New Year. Duke sucks.